rolling? The fuck? You guys rolling?
The boys are back from a great weekend.
Back. Episode 206. Ladies and gentlemen, the football season is over, but it doesn't mean we're going to stop rooting for our favorite team. That team is Chevy and its star franchise player, the Silverado, a truck with unstoppable grit and unstoppable determination. According to J.D. Power, Chevy has earned more new vehicle quality awards than any other brand, and that is serious hardware. Head over to Chevy.com to learn more. Silverado, as strong and dependable as people who drive them. For more information on J.D. Power, go to jdpower.com/awards.
You did it, dog.
Down on that one.
Let's go.
You saw me staring him down, dude. You read something enough, you fucking learn it, boys. It says PG-13, so maybe bleep out Will's F word. I think I might have had 6 of them in there. I'm not sure, dude. I kind of blacked out for a second. Boys, we are stoked to have you on. Stoked to have you on this podcast. I know you're super excited to hear about Fred Warner. Listen to Fred Warner, captain of that 49ers defense, just the heart and soul of the boys.
Absolutely breaks my heart that I was not there.
I know, dude, and it was so fucking good. Of all the episodes we did, I was the one I wanted you on the most because I couldn't wait to see 2 potential Hall of Fame linebackers talk ball.
Yeah, I'm really bummed. I DM'd him and talking about how sad I was about it. I was like, we'd love to get you out to Nashville at some point, do another one, get on the bus for real.
Yeah.
Because I would love to get in the mind of Fred Warner because
He's about it too.
He's the best linebacker in the league.
You think so?
I think so, yeah.
Is it close? Because off the top of my head, who else is there?
What do you mean it's not close, Mitch? Mitch's over there shaking his head. No, I know he's shaking.
And it was like the most confident no.
Yeah, it wasn't. This was Mitch shaking his head no. He's like, is it close? And Mitch was like, what are you talking about? Like, there's just nothing but
Who else
scrubs
is out there?
There's a lot of cats, bro.
No. Who's
bring up a list. You're not going to put me on the spot.
Who's buddy from Kansas City that I spelt his name wrong during the Super Bowl?
Willie Gay?
No.
Bolden? Yeah.
Bolden. He's
Bolton.
He's young.
Bolton, but hey,
young, but
those
brother,
are
that
studs.
guy can fucking
Bobby,
rip.
Bobby Wagner?
He's older.
Micah Parsons?
He's older.
He's still a stud. He's still a stud.
But you're like, is it even close? And when you go,
Hey, Levante David?
Levante David? Demario Davis?
I think Fred Warner's head and shoulders above all that.
Old boy from the Colts. Darius Leonard.
Yeah.
He was hurt this year.
You know what?
Yeah.
And that's recency bias
You
right
see
there.
how quick you forget.
That guy's
quick you forget.
All studs. Don't get me wrong. I just think
But
Fred
you don't
Warner
think it's
is
close?
not particularly. I think Fred's the best linebacker.
What'd you play in at your college?
Wide receiver.
Wide receiver.
You played wide receiver?
Yeah.
And you knew going into it you were white. You didn't think
Yeah.
maybe I should switch that up a little bit.
What else am I going to play?
I don't know. Them calves? O-line, linebacker, D-line.
He does have a frame. You could be you have a frame like a linebacker.
This whole time until just now, I truly thought he was a linebacker in college. You got a good build on you, Mitch. We all said if we all did steroids, I think you'd have the best body.
I remember you
Heavy
actually
head.
said Jack.
No, I did say Jack.
Heavy
Nobody
head.
said me.
Aesthetically, like from like a rip standpoint, Jack from like a build, like that guy's he's fucking that dude. That'd probably be you.
I'm built like a tight end, but
Okay.
like I'm big like that, but like
You got that heavy head. You get that block head.
Yeah.
He does, dude.
Legit, you got a block head.
Yeah. He's got that coming out of birth CTE.
But reeling it, yeah.
You know?
yeah.
He got that fucking... You made a lot of spills when you were younger and just wiped...
Hey,
dusted yourself off and kept going.
I think we should take a moment of silence for your mother. God bless her for pushing that head out.
From P to B.
Thank you. Hey, but just to reel it all back in, yeah, I think there's a lot of like really good fucking linebackers in the league. And it's not Fred's not in a league of his own, but he is, in my opinion. I think he's the best linebacker in the NFL.
In the NFL, but there's a lot of good ones out there that can make a good argument. Micah Parsons is a dude that I look at as a linebacker, but he's also more of an edge guy now.
He's more of a pass rusher.
The thing is, at Penn State he was an off the ball linebacker, right? That just blitzed.
He was, yeah.
Talk about an absolute freak. Talk about a league of his own.
Yeah,
Micah Parsons, brother. Stud.
Every off-the-ball linebacker would love to have Micah Parsons' ability because in that pass rush ability, that's where you get big dollars.
Brother, when in 2021, when we were playing the Bengals in the playoff game, 57, I can't remember his name. I apologize. I know he watches the show. Comes on the ball. And they were running like a 5-man front, essentially, a jam front. And we were running at him, and he was taking on blocks horribly. It was a great feeling for me. And after like the third or fourth one, because, we run a lot of consistently the same thing.
Jermaine Pratt.
when we run a lot of the same plays, especially when things are going well, and we kept running, and I kept base blocking him, and after the third one, he's like, "Man, fuck this shit." Looks at the sideline, "Fucking take me off the ball. I'm not on the ball linebacker." Mad as hell.
Right. He's a good backer, by the way. But yeah, it's like when you get in them systems and them coordinators want to like get a little cute, by doing those 5-man front. Hey, Will, when we stem, you're going to go to the line of scrimmage. And I'm thinking there is zero ability in this body, everything to get on the ball. You know what I mean? Oh, you know that one time that in practice where I came on the ball against you. I mean, I got the sack, but.
Don't laugh like that, dude.
You don't like that laugh? That was a genuine laugh. That's when you know it's a genuine laugh.
That's a genuine laugh? Dude, I do this thing where I kind of like quietly laugh. I just mouth open.
Yeah.
At you.
How do you like the new teeth?
Fucking love them, dude.
How's it been getting on the...
I think the more reps I get speaking, the better I feel. But you heard when I said speaking, you felt that little at the end or like in the middle? Speaking. I do have a little bit of difficulty that I was... At the combine, we will get into that. That was a blast always to be around Rich Eisen. But the reason why the Bengals were in that 5-man front is because of King Henry. And unfortunately, or maybe fortunately for Derek, I don't know. The Titans seem like they are now shopping King Henry.
There's some Tennessee Titan drama going on right now. You got the rumors of Derek Henry being shopped. And Jeffrey Simmons, he's playing the old A.J. Brown card where he's deleting everything on the internet.
Yeah, we know how that worked really well.
Yes.
So there's
some drama around Tennessee right now. Like drama, I just think like headlines. People are making this stuff up. My personal opinion, if I zoom out, I'm fully objective. I'm playing armchair GM. I think the right move would be to shop Derrick Henry. I've told you that before.
Yeah, you have.
Just because I think the tread that's on his tires. You look at a running back overall. You want to trade. If you're going to deal somebody, you want to deal them like while they're still hot. Like it's up to the GM to think how many years do we think we have left with Derrick Henry. You have a decimated O-line. Do you think Derek's really going to continue to perform if we don't have an entire O-line in front? We might need pieces. We might need picks. We might need multiple players. And we could potentially deal Derrick Henry, who everyone, it's not that anybody's sitting up there being like, oh, he's not good. It's just like, hey, we got to look at building the roster. We have a lot of holes. Derek might be a piece to move. It's the whole phrase, like it's nothing personal at all. Like I think they're just trying to objectively view if that is true, if that rumor's true.
Yeah.
I forget where I saw it. I think it was, I don't want to butcher his name, Don Kleiman? Dove Kleiman. Shout out to boy Dove Kleiman.
I don't know who Dove Kleiman is.
He was the one where I dropped that the tweet in the chat.
Got you.
Or showing
that was him who put it out.
Rumor is that the Titans are shopping Derrick Henry.
Going back to what you're saying, like I think Derek is this offseason, there's a lot more chatter around what do the Titans do with Derek. I think that has to do a lot with the play of the O-line last year. The O-line did not play well. Derek is a guy that we've always known has to get in his fourth or fifth step before he gets to the line of scrimmage to really make those big time moves and get those home run balls. Because I get injured, Dennis Daly had a rough season. We had a rookie right tackle. Ben Jones was dealing with injuries. Nate Davis was dealing with injuries. Aaron Brewer, rock solid about playing every single game. So to be honest, like it is, I think people are looking at Derek like, hey, has he lost a step? Derek ran for what, 1,600 yards, 1,500 yards with an O-line that was pieced together on a week-to-week basis. So if the Titans are shopping Derrick Henry, whoever gets Derrick Henry, you got a fucking stud on your hands, boys. An absolute stud on your hands. I hope if they are trading him, that hopefully this is something that Derek wants. I don't know. I don't ask him those type of questions. I just hope whatever happens with Derek is what Derek wants to happen to Derek. I love Derek. That's what I'm getting at here. I love that man. As far as Jeffrey Simmons goes, I mean, if you're
also like when we had Derek on, he seems to have that perspective head on his shoulders where he understands the business.
He understands the business.
He doesn't trust any move that gets made. Like when we were talking about, you're like, oh, I think I'm gonna get cut into 2 weeks, and he was like, he said, what are you talking about? He's like, man, I don't even know what's gonna happen to me. I think he does have like. He's been around it. He understands how the business side of everything works. Yeah,
Derek does have a very aware understanding of how the NFL business works. I hope.
And again, I'm not saying like I'm not saying that they should or anything. I can definitely just see that perspective. If I'm sitting there, I personally, like if I was the GM, I think you want to weigh every option out there. It's like, yo, what could we potentially get? out of Derek Henry because he is fucking King Henry for a reason. And if some team out there is obsessed with him and would give up
like a first-round pick,
if they would give up a couple picks, a couple players, depending on if they fill your needs, it's like, why not talk shop?
You know, the interesting thing with the Titans is it seems like the teams that have had major success in recent years have really played through the free agency game more than the draft. Like Kansas City, as successful as they've been, they've had very late round picks the last 5 years. So late first round picks, that 31st, 32nd, like in that range. And so they've been kind of dealing, moving around, getting guys, grabbing Juju Smith and those type of dudes. The Rams, who won, they built their entire team through free agency. They said picks? Man, fuck those picks. I'd rather get a guy for a second round pick that I know can play ball in the league and is going to be productive for us. Interesting route the Titans seem to be going in this type of situation. Let's see how it works out in the future.
That's what the Eagles did as well.
Yeah.
Like they're trading guys to get who's the corner that they ended up getting from the Saints?
C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
Yeah, that's right. Because they were kind of going all in on this year. And obviously they made it all the way to the Super Bowl, but they were kind of taking that approach on they were a few years ago.
Drafted, developed type dudes.
Like, think about when they drafted Jalen. They were under fire about, are they really moving on from Carson Wentz? He was just an MVP candidate a year or two ago. Yada, yada, yada. They took a lot of heat for that. And obviously you've seen how it panned out, playing the longer game, building to the draft.
Right. But the issue when you're playing the longer game is, what is the patience of the owner? If the patience of the owner is not good, then you're not going to have that 3-4 years to really prove and develop your team and get the guys you want in there. That's a tough deal. Now, something to think about, Mike Vrabel's thought process. What if he's thinking to himself, and this is, we're playing, like you said, armchair GM, armchair head coach. If he's thinking, I'm not going to have the team I've had in past years. I've had to get rid of a lot of veterans. Ben Jones might be retiring. We let go of Terrell Lewan. Now we're shopping Jeffrey Simmons. We're shopping.
We're not
shopping Jeffrey Simmons, but Jeffrey Simmons seems like, he's doing the AJ Brown technique. We'll see how that unfolds. Seems like they're shopping Derrick Henry. The whole world's asking what's going to happen with Ryan Tannehill. Maybe Vrabes is maybe doing a little CYA. And he's like, hey, maybe if I get these guys out of here, show the draft capital we're about to get in, gives him a couple years. Because if you have King Henry, if you have Jeffrey Simmons, and you're putting out shekels the way you have to for those two gentlemen, and you're not winning games, you need to win games. We know the reality of the NFL. The reality of the NFL is that Amy will look at it and say, hey, you're not producing the way you have been. It's time to move on and try to get to that next step again. Mike Vrabel, I've said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times, top 5 coach in the NFL. Top 5. Now, there's a couple things we've talked about he could work on, but he's still a stud.
Yeah, no, he's
still
awesome.
a stud.
I think ultimately, like the culture that he builds and the formula that the Titans have had in past success, I think you look at that and think, number one, we definitely need depth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like at this point, you're getting rid of a lot of guys. You see, not necessarily like rebuild, but from the outside looking in, it's like, oh, the Titans are looking at going through like a rebuilding process, like getting new guys in because you need depth. And I think the culture that Vrabel ultimately pieces together and the formula that the Titans use to win, you might need a little bit more capital to do that.
Yeah.
And you might have to, you're cutting guys, you're freeing up cap space, and you're trying to like put together a full product, and not just a full product, but even depth below that, because right now the Titans need a lot.
Could you imagine Derrick Henry on the Philadelphia Eagles? Or the Bills?
I don't see him on the Bills. Like Bills live in spread,
rip it,
bro.
They rip it. Yeah, they live in spread, but they don't sleep. The Titans run a lot of 11 personnel too.
Yeah, but not like the Bills.
No.
Bills are throwing the ball a shitload.
A shitload.
What do you think his ask is? What do you trade for that? What do you trade for Derek?
For Derek, I have absolutely zero clue. This is
that's where we don't know.
This is where my jurisdiction runs out. Like, I'm just thinking, like, I can understand them wanting to shop Derek. Like, I'm sure everybody's going to be spazzy about it. But at the end of the day, you got to look at his age and everything else, and just, you have to play that game on what's best for the future of the organization. And if we can get more pieces for letting go arguably the best running back we've had in our entire franchise, like, those are the hard decisions that you ultimately have to make when you're in the shoes of Ram and Coach Vrabes.
And when you're a new offensive coordinator like Tim Kelly is, you don't know, the offense is going to be somewhat similar, but there might be different play calls. They might be trying to air it out a little bit more. They might be trying to shop Derrick Henry to get that quarterback that they want long term. Love Ryan Tannehill. I don't know. These are all the questions that are going around circuiting at this time of the year. And let's not overstate the fact that people overthink everything this time of year. This is when everything is micromanaged, overlooked at, peaked, dissected too much. So
It's fantasy football time.
It's fantasy football time, right? We're all playing that.
Coming, like, it's all measurable.
But there are so many levels of chess in the NFL that everyone's playing a different game. Mike's playing a different game than Rand. Rand's playing a different game than Mike. They're playing also a game together. But everyone's also looking at longevity for themselves, where they can stay, where they can have the best success and look the best. Like, there's a lot of ego that plays in the NFL. Mm-hmm. A lot of ego that plays in the NFL.
What do you think about the Jeff Simmons stuff? You think you pay Big Jeff?
If you think he can win now, yeah, absolutely. But if you don't, if you're going the route we just talked about, then Jeff's gonna get his. We've said it before. I don't know if Jeff's gonna get Aaron Donald money, because Aaron Donald he's that unicorn that we all kind of seen, like no one's really doing it like him or has done it like him.
Can you bring up the top paid defensive line?
That was, I think, like
Sport Track or whatever it is
before, and I think we kind of settled around 23 to 25 million. Right in between there, because I know Donald's up towards like 29, 30 million. Maybe even 32. So that's his APY is 31.666. Probably should change that number a little bit.
It goes from Aaron Donald at 31.6 down to DeForest Buckner at 21 million a year.
Now, take Aaron Donald out of the picture. Now you're looking more. Jeffrey Simmons will reset the market aside from Aaron Donald. I'm sure Jeffrey wants to reset the market entirely. I don't know.
You know how it is. Like, as a player, like, we might say remove Aaron Donald, but their agency and everything else, they're not like, that's like, Aaron Donald reset the market for D tackles.
Yeah, and
you're trying to get more money or close to that. Whether or not we think that that's realistic or whatever is obviously up for everybody to debate. But at the end of the day, that's players are trying to reset the market to establish more and obviously selfishly, like, get the bag.
Yeah, it definitely plays into what we were talking about. Like, that part's out of our jurisdiction. But if you're his agent, like you said, you're saying 31 is the floor. Buddy,
that's what you're trying to base it around.
You're a stud. You're a arguably top 3 D tackle in the entire NFL at a young age. Those top 3 guys right there, all studs, all way older than Jeff. So that's what you're looking at too. You're like, I got a young guy in his prime. We can pay him this money. You find the team with the best draft, with the best financial capital to make that happen. You're looking in a good situation there. Yeah. But you want to give Jeff, you got to give that first round pick plus. Like, he is that type of dude that you got to give a first round pick to get him.
Yeah.
You know?
I think you got to pay Jeff. I think he's a cornerstone. I think he's in the trenches. He's violent.
And we all know how Vrabes loves Jeff.
Yeah. He's nasty. He's violent. He finishes. The dude is all effort. He plays injured. He does all of the stuff that you want in a player. And he's a fucking stud.
He's a dog.
Yeah.
He's an absolute dog.
Gets pressure. And when you get that internal pressure too, and you got the quarterback moving in the pocket, like, Jeff is everything. Number one, obviously everybody knows that Vrabel loves him. But Jeff he's somebody you look to, like, build a franchise around. Not like the singular person, but he is a piece that you're like, yo, we want this fucking freaking nature up front to build the defense around. Because you got run and hit linebackers all day. I know David Long, they're going to be looking at paying. Hopefully the boy David Long gets paid as well, because he's a nasty player too. But you need guys like Jeff. Like, you got to build in the trenches. And I think Jeff, it's like, he's one of the best, if not the best defensive tackle in the game right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Derek Carr goes to the Saints. The boy got number one. Hey, Derek Carr going to the Saints.
We got his contract. Let's get that, dude. That is.
Oh yeah. What? I wonder what he did, son.
Yeah, because here's what happened with Derek Carr when he was at the Raiders when they were trying to trade him. The Saints were obviously interested at that time. They were trying to finalize a deal with the Saints. The Saints, allegedly, what I heard is he wanted to take a pay cut. Or the Saints wanted him to take a pay cut. Derek Carr said no. And then so the deal did not get done. He decided to go test free agency, ends up on the Saints once again. Do we know the contract? The 5-year contract?
I would assume it'd be on Twitter. Adam Schefter or Ian Rappaport would have already.
Yeah, but a lot of times when these deals get done,
they're not finite.
Yeah,
but
it's
we
not
kind of know
like
what
we know
they're looking at doing.
He's got to fly there now.
There you go. Ian.
$150 million deal.
4 years, $150 million with $100 million in total guarantees. Gets $70 million effectively, fully guaranteed. $60 million at signing. Another $10 in year 3 vesting after year 1. Carr structures his deal to accommodate Saints' cap issues. Shout out to
the big ass signing bonus.
Man. That's a fat signing bonus.
That is pretty outstanding. Good for the boy.
Per year is what it looks like the average is.
Good for the boy. Saints contenders?
I think so. I mean,
they're studs.
Well,
they're going to take the NFC South.
Number one.
Carr, the best quarterback in that division.
I was going to say NFC South now, the Saints have now established that they're a team that has a quarterback because the other teams, that's basically the question mark on the NFC South. Nobody has a quarterback. I think the Saints now elevate to the team to beat in the NFC South based on this Derek Carr signing because you got a lot of good pieces still on defense, vets, but good veteran leadership. That organization's awesome. Their facilities are nice. Now they could work on their cafeteria and their lunchroom. But other than that, well-run organization. I love the people there and the players that are still there. It's it's a player-ran police locker room. I'm talking high accountability. I'm not talking players do whatever they want. I'm talking Cam Jordan, Demario Davis. I would assume Tyrann Mathieu. But those dudes are fucking leaders. So he's going into a good situation.
And don't sleep on Odell Beckham Jr. Guy went to LSU. He's from Louisiana. Get a good quarterback like Derek Carr. Maybe he wants to take a friendly deal. Odell is an elite athlete. Based on the couple of years he's in a situation I am now, where you have to get into a prove-it deal, sign a lower deal with incentives to get you up to a number that you're happy with. And I think that might be a good little spot for Odell as well. That would be a nice little spot. Add him a little more firepower into that quickly. It's March 6th. I'm going to give you what's going to happen in the NFC South next year. 1, Saints are going to win it. 2 is going to be the Atlanta Falcons. 3 is going to be the Panthers. Buccaneers are going to take a big dive, and they're going to be 4th in the NFC South.
All right. So you're going in March. You're going pre.
Yeah, because I can say what I want right now. We're going to do this in the beginning of the year. I'm saying right now, looking at that, knowing Tom Brady left, knowing the Panthers started to do well towards the end of the season, knowing Arthur Smith, we love Arthur Smith, and I think he's a stud coach, and he's going to really take that next step this year. I think those 3 teams elevate. I think the Buccaneers go down to the bottom.
I can definitely see Buccaneers going down to the bottom for sure.
Yeah. You think Panthers?
The others, Panthers. I love and respect for Art. That's why I'm thinking of the Falcons, but I think it's between the Saints and the Panthers. I think the Panthers have a very good roster and they're a quarterback away. And hiring Coach Frank Reich.
Yeah. Stud coach. I can't believe the Indianapolis Colts got rid of him.
Yeah, man.
Cannot believe that.
Stud coach. And you know how Vrabel always talked about the culture that the Colts had built. Like every time that we would play the Colts, he would always go on and on about how they are a team that's structured and culture-wise put together a lot like us, the Titans.
Hard-nosed team. Yeah. Great special teams. Plays hard on defense.
Details. Don't beat yourself. Right. Awareness, game awareness, situation.
Take care of the ball on offense. Like, it was always a game of chess when you play the Colts.
And the Panthers brought in the boy D'Angelo Hall to fill one of their coaching spots.
Really?
On the DB side. Yeah, I think D Hall's going to be a hell of a coach.
That is your boy, dude.
That is my boy.
That is your
boy. I think right now it's safe to say the Saints are the team to beat since they have the quarterback in Derek Carr. But I do think it's between the Panthers and Saints this year.
But boys, we're a week away from free agency madness. And we will see a lot more things unfold in the next 2 weeks, especially those first 3 days of free agency. We're going to see what teams are really going for it this year and what teams are taking a step back and saying, hey, we're in a rebuild situation. That's another one to keep the eye on the Titans.
Or
Titans are in limbo, boys. Titans are truly in purgatory. Are they going to heaven or hell this year? We have no idea. We are going to find out about that.
There will be teams who just don't make a lot of movement, maybe because they feel good about the roster too, and then they like what they might be able to get in the draft. The Chicago Bears, it seems like it's out there now that they're willing to trade the first overall pick. Tells you they feel really good about Justin Fields, and you got that first overall pick, dude. Bryce Young comes to mind, but you got that first overall pick, a team that needs a quarterback who might be willing to make some sacrifices and make moves to get there. It'll be interesting. It'll be fun too. I think this is where it gets fun for everybody who, like myself now, who's fell back and played the fantasy football game a little bit more. These are the times where you get a little excited. Yeah. What are you excited for? What are you hoping to see next week as free agency opens up? Personally, Taylor Lewan.
Well, it's kind of a vague, broad stroke question because, like, obviously playing for the Titans for the 9 years, I want to see what they do and where they feel like they need to fill holes in free agency. And then once they do that,
I'm talking about as a player. I'm talking about Taylor Lewan. Free agency opens, and obviously it's a situation for you too. Obviously we are the best unemployed NFL podcast in the world right now. But what are you, now that you're on the open market, what are you hoping to?
Well, I can technically be signed by a team right now. Here's how my situation would work. I've had lots of teams. I've had lots of teams reach out, about a dozen teams. We've had conversations. There are teams that are interested. There are teams that are just kind of poking around. The next step for me would be to go see them, to fly to these different establishments and have their doctors put their hands on me. I've told my guys, like, hey, listen, let me get my knee a little healthier. Let me see how this thing's going to work. Because I've already said it once. I'll say it 1,000 times. I'm not going to play this game to collect a check unless I know I can really be something on the field that's worth paying for. Now, my contract wouldn't be, some sort of massive contract or anything like that, but it's going to be a longer game for me. I think my signing would be more towards camp in that type of situation, given that my knee is able to do the things that I want it to do.
Some tweets that were going around yesterday, because you said it on NFL Network. By the way, you did a phenomenal job.
I appreciate that, buddy.
Covering the draft. But there are a lot of tweets circulating because you said that you would not play right tackle because you don't think you'd be good at it.
It's not that I wouldn't be good at it. It's also I would not be good at it. That's fair to say. I would be a dog shit right tackle. I literally played right. The only time I've ever played right tackle in my life.
I'm not saying you wouldn't be good at it.
No. You can say that. You are more than welcome to say it because it's the truth.
And one of your little draft videos, I saw you working the right side when you did a little circle.
And that was the thing. I was in the combine. I was the most stressed out about that situation right there.
Really?
Oh. I was
don't fall.
Yeah, and if you can watch the fluidity in those videos if you want to go back and look at it. My reach and my stance is not as far. My hip does rotate a little bit more where it opens up to the left because I've been in a left-handed stance for so long. So when I go to get in a right-handed stance, it's basically like, folks, if you're right-handed, go eat with your left hand. That's kind of how it feels to me to be a right tackle. I will not play right tackle. I'll never play right tackle. That is a non-negotiable for me. So all those teams out there saying, hey, come to the 49ers and play right tackle. No, I'm not going to do that. Come to this team, play for right. No, and that's not that is a little bit of ego, but it's also, I'm good at one thing. I am not like a Swiss Army knife of ability when it comes to the NFL. I am good at one individual position, and that is the left tackle position.
You couldn't play across the entire line of scrimmage on a punt team.
No, not like you. Yeah. But you know what they say, the more you can do, the less you get paid. So if you're good at just one thing, thank God. But yeah, I'm excited to see how that all unfolds, because there are some teams out there that have reached out, some contenders, some teams that are trying to work their way up, and it'll be cool to see how they attack this free agency draft.
I think it's a good insight too that you give on that perspective, just because it is easy to get caught up in playing Madden and moving a left tackle to a right tackle. They drop a little bit in overall, but ultimately, like hearing you talk about it, you brought up the analogy of if you're right-handed, trying to eat with your left hand, that's how you feel. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you're not gonna. Some guys are just strictly like they're extremely good at one thing, and that's what you want to do, and that's what you feel best at.
Right.
But I think it's good to speak to, just because everybody out there's like, man, why not? It seems like you could just, and by listening to you, it sounds like it's just not that simple.
No, it's not in the cards for me. I can't do it physically. I guess I could if I worked at it hard enough, but I'm not going to, because then the other part comes into it where I have a weird thing about being a left tackle. It's the position when I was growing up that, like, if you're the stud, if you're the dude that can move his feet well and is athletic, that's the position you play. And I took that to heart. And so I'm big on that. A guy that can do both things, Nick Petit-Ferrer, the right tackle for the Tennessee Titans. He was a rookie this past year. I asked him, because he played left tackle at Ohio State before he came to the Titans. And I was like, hey, man, how do you feel in the right-handed stance? And he's like, it feels the exact same to me. It's nothing. So he has that ability to kind of work across the board from an O-line positional standpoint and keep the same production level alive, which is good for the Titans, because you need guys like that. Like, it's great to have a guy like me that can do something at a high level for a long time in one position, but a lot of times having dudes you can move in and out, whether it's interior or exterior, that is a good thing to have, because it kind of gives you more depth with one guy. Kind of like you can work all across the punt.
All across.
Yeah. You're a core four special teams guy.
You need me at wing.
You do everything but get on the ball.
Get on the ball.
On the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, to pass rush, absolutely. Like, I just because I'm an inside backer doesn't mean I can play outside backer.
Right.
So yeah, I feel you on that.
It would essentially be like that discomfort you have is the discomfort I would have
and
at right tackle.
Anytime I would have to play on the left side for punt team, I always felt way more vulnerable, because I enjoy I feel way more comfortable in my stance and my strength and everything else on the right side.
Yeah. Got a great kick.
Good kick.
We've seen the videos out there.
You can play wing too.
Shoulders are square. You have a good post hand.
Yeah,
it's solid.
Good eyes
too.
Yeah.
The punt team, you're holding up. There's a certain amount of time you got to hold up.
Yeah.
And so you do good with that post hand in case you try to run a game or something like that, buddy.
Listening, you win with your eyes.
Hey, I got a question for you, Taylor. Take money aside of everything. When you're looking like at other teams, what are like the top 3 or like couple things that is most appealing to you from like a franchise perspective? Like, is it the location? Would it be like players or facilities? Because it's like a fan, I feel like that's interesting. Like, to me.
For me,
good question,
I've only known one facility, and that facility started garbage and it got a whole lot better as the time went. Still needs a lot of work, but
Titans, they're middle of the road.
I don't know
Middle
that.
of the
You would know that. You would know that
Yeah.
much better than me.
Well, in those grades came out. We could
Yeah,
talk about
and
that.
they
if we wanted
truly
to.
were middle of the road the
Yeah.
whole time. Yeah. Could not care less about facilities. Location is one thing, but really here's like my criteria for a team I want to play for. I want to play for a team that has the opportunity to win a Super Bowl. Here comes the ego again. I wear the number 77. I want that fucking number. And if I go to a team that has a guy with 77, hey buddy, enjoy it because you're about to get paid. I'm paying you for that number. I just need to know.
Who's your therapist? We got to get on the phone with him. We're talking about a number?
Yeah. We're talking about a number,
We're talking
boss.
about a number.
Yeah, we're talking about a number. And then my third criterion, this is not a joke, Will Compton has to come with too. That's not a joke. So if you want me, you got to get Will. And I've already said, I said on NFL Network yesterday, he will play for minimum. He will play for minimum.
Look at me sitting up now.
Yeah.
I don't appreciate you being my agent from that standpoint, playing
Yeah.
for minimum, because we got to market now.
What do you mean?
We got, like I'm saying, like you've already established that I would play for minimum. Like I would never pay you to be my agent because that's as bad as it gets.
If
right
I
there.
said, hey,
you will play for minimum,
I'll get you minimum, but I'll get you a week 1 roster. So you know you're paid the entire year.
see that now that's solid. We can talk about it.
All right.
We can talk about it.
That's fair enough. I respect
You
that.
know how I get. You know what I mean? Never
You
make
never like to make a deal too
I
fast.
never.
I
I
know.
never like to make a
Will does
decision
have
in
some
an
very
emotional.
unique quirks. If you were to say, hey, is Will a fly by the seat of his pants kind of guy? Absolutely not. He is actually the opposite of that individual. But yeah, dude, I appreciate that question. I don't think too much about facilities because I've been through the worst of them, and I guess I've been in the middle of the road of them. But
Super Bowl contender, 77.
Will Compton. Those are the 3 things. Enjoy
Listen
that.
up, GMs.
That's not a joke. And I have to play left tackle. So there's 4. So yeah, that's really it. But not so much about
So what
me.
if you got Super Bowl contender,
Uh-huh.
Will Compton?
Nope.
Number 77.
Oh.
Super Bowl contender, 77, Will Compton. But they wanted you to play right tackle because you just said left tackle's like 4.
Oh no, I've already established very heavily in the last 5 minutes of this podcast. I'm not playing right tackle. Yeah, put me at right tackle. Put me at right tackle. Go ahead, because guess what happens? You guys are gonna lose so many fucking games.
Well, you
That
really,
quarterback is
don't
not
believe,
getting that
you
ball
really
off.
don't believe in yourself like that, huh?
I don't believe in myself at right tackle, but I believe in myself at left tackle. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, yeah, clearly.
So, belief. But you did frame it like you don't believe. You usually say you don't believe in yourself like that.
Because you just said I'm going to give up a lot of sacks and we're going to suck
At
and we're
right
going to be
tackle,
awful.
absolutely.
That literally says I suck.
At right tackle.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
It's bad. I would look like the Chandler Jones game. Every game. Depending, it doesn't matter who the fucking individual is at right tackle. That's how the game would look. So if you guys want that at right tackle, go ahead and sign me then. The weekend. What an outstanding weekend for the boys. I hope
It
you
was
guys
a
are
good-
following
it was a good
along.
weekend.
Will Compton went to Calabasas. I went to Indianapolis. I'd love to start with you, Will, because I've gotten a lot of words in this part, and I'd like to take a little bit of a break. Talk to us about the Fight Companion.
Dude, it was a good fucking time.
Yeah?
Like it was a good hang. It felt like we were about to have a little slumber party. That's how high the vibes were.
Really?
We're talking about wild shit. Obviously, I threw in the question I love to throw in, like, what's your price to suck a dick?
Yeah.
To Rampage Jackson, which I thought would be number one. Rampage Jackson, one of my favorite fighters of all time. The only Affliction shirt I ever wore in high school was Rampage Jackson. So when he came in, I had a little bit of like, fuck, that's fucking Rampage Jackson. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But by the end of it, bro, I mean, it was a good time. I got a little sauced up on the whiskey.
Yeah.
The Tiger Thick whiskey, phenomenal whiskey, very smooth, similar to
I could
ours.
see your eyes kind of doing this as the show went on longer and longer.
Oh, you
had
watched?
you had that little, yeah, of course.
Yeah, dude, it was a good time. It was a good hang, with good laughs, good jokes. We're watching the fights. Sometimes I forgot that the fights were even on because the boys were just in it, having camaraderie. The vibes were high, but it was a fucking good time. I would love to do it again. B was texting, talking about, everybody was raving about the chemistry going on and everything else. It's like, we'd love to have you back. So
That's awesome, man.
I'm all for it. That shit was a lot of fun.
That fires me up for you.
And
Yeah.
Rampage, bro, like
That's so cool.
Rampage Jackson.
Yeah, some of the stories he was telling about, he grew up and his cousin and all that shit, like that was
Yeah,
awesome.
talking about how he lost his virginity at 5 years old.
Which I don't even know that's possible.
I don't either, but
Right.
he was talking about it. And some of the stuff I do want to withhold because I want to get him on the bus.
Yeah.
And I want him to tell those same stories again.
Got you.
Recapping him talking about hide and go get it. Did you hear that part?
No, I did not hear that part.
Normally you grow up as a child. If you're in a decent,
Home.
Yeah, decent home, you play hide and go seek.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these boys out here, which I learned in training camp with Washington, some of these boys are out here playing something called hide and go get it.
Now, easy now. You're saying boys pretty hard. Like you're saying it in a unique way.
In what kind of
Some of
way?
these boys out here.
Oh,
You know what I'm
are
saying?
you racist?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking you might be a little racist.
I think if you're not racist, you just don't have like. I'm not even thinking about that. You know what I mean? I'm thinking some of the boys. Number one, I say boys literally like that's part of my language. It's
You
part
say
of my
boys.
verbiage.
You say boys. We don't say boys.
Some of my teammates play this game called hide and go get it with their friends.
What does that mean?
Hide and go get it is you hide like you're playing. Think of hide and seek.
Yeah.
But the minute you find them, you get to dry hump them or do whatever for like 5 minutes. Yeah, I'm not fucking joking.
So it's hide and get raped.
Hey,
the show.
we had one teammate, man, he was so funny. I won't say his name, but dude, he was fucking. You would go and it's one of those guys you hope there's an open spot at the table because you want to sit and listen to some of the shit he's gonna say.
Yeah.
And he was talking about hide and go get it. And he's from Mississippi, so he had his accent going on. He's like, man, some of the females I'd find them, they'd be like, oh no, he'd be like, oh come here, bro. And we're just dying laughing. Like obviously laughing at that is like, you know, I'm thinking of the humor of him telling the story. But yeah, they would play this game called hide and go get it. Now all their friends, they get together, they play hide and go get it. If you get found, you get dry humped, you make out. I don't know, you do whatever you want. I think that's a game. That's a game.
Wow.
I think if we get this clip, there will probably be a lot of people out there who be like, yeah, we played that game.
That's a wild fucking story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to have Rampage Jackson on the show. Yeah, I thought you did a really good job too. I will say my one little deal I didn't like about the YouTube streaming was there was no comment section where like people watching can kind of just like chill and
Oh, really?
comment on each other. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was the only bummer because I was kind of looking forward to sitting there watching you guys talk about because I also had the fights up. But I was going to feel like I was kind of a part of it too. And I was going to just be in the comment section.
It was fun though, man. It was a good time. The hotel they put me in, super nice, very nice bed, comfortable. You felt like you get lost in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You move around. But it was a good time, man.
Hey.
It was fun.
Take that, a couple of pillows.
The pillows made it. The pillow survived.
But barely?
Not really. Not really. I feel like I've matured a little bit. I like to think I've matured a little bit to where that only happens. That thought only happens rarely, on occasion, to where I might look at a pillow sideways.
The thoughts really happen though when you get to a hotel room.
Yeah. When you step in a hotel room, your animal brain turns on.
And you think, I'm going to do some crazy shit in here by myself.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
That is how
But it was
fucking...
fun. Talk about Indianapolis.
Indianapolis was great, man. I was pretty stressed out in the beginning of the week because I didn't know what the hell I had to wear. If I had to wear a suit, not wear a suit. Like I didn't know what the dress code was. And I didn't want to be the only guy there not wearing a suit. So that was kind of the only stress I really had. And then once I found out during the live stream, it was kind of set up like the college football playoff was where we're on the field, we're watching drills, and we're just talking about what we're seeing as it's going on. I was with Sean O'Hara, I was with the legendary Joe Thomas, Deion Dawkins, the left tackle for the Buffalo Bills was there, and myself. That was great, dude. I had a great time with them. A lot of good chemistry with those guys. I've always enjoyed each of them in our own individual ways, but when you brought us four together, I thought we did a great job. I thought Sean and Joe, being the professionals that they are, really did a good job of kind of pointing the entire show and then giving me and Deion opportunities to speak on expertise, even though they are, you know, especially Joe, they're just the best of the
Deion's
best.
built like a house. Bro.
Yeah, he's an absolute fucking unit. And my favorite thing about Deion, nobody just for me with that, man. If you look at his profile picture on Twitter, I hope you can put his little thing up on YouTube. Give the boy a little bit of love. But his profile Twitter is him rounding a base at a softball game with a vest on, and he got titties and stomach going everywhere, dude. You don't know what direction he's going on that. He's just fucking living it, dude. I really like Deion. I think he is a really, yeah, there's the picture right there. He's a great talent.
Life.
He's a great talent. He's a guy that you can just tell just doesn't take it too seriously. So loved being around him. His key word of the day was swag, because that was I don't know, whatever you want to say. They pulled up videos of us and everything. It was just a cool time, man.
You can just tell how chiseled Joe Thomas is.
Yeah, Joe looks great.
Chiseled, bro.
Joe looks phenomenal. Yeah, he's getting down. I think he's about to go on a hike to Machu Picchu. Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
He's about to do that. He's about 247 pounds right now. But
You can tell.
he looks fantastic.
He was on the field. I saw a photo of him on the field with this massive left tackle.
That was Paris Johnson Jr. from Ohio State.
Oh, yeah. I think it was a photo you posted. Something about Titans could potentially get him.
Yeah.
And it's just, bro, the amount of weight.
Look at him in that photo.
Yeah.
doesn't even look
The
like the
physique
same.
Joe has now compared to standing next to a left tackle is insane. And by the way, what's the kid's name?
Paris Johnson Jr.
His quads. Oh my God.
He definitely has that, but he's got that skinnier leg build. Paris does, but very athletically built. He's a guy when you watch Paris's film, he's not the most technically sound offensive lineman on the board right now. That's going to go to the tackle at Northwestern, Skoronski. He is probably the most well-developed player that someone's going to get put in right away. They're either at tackle or guard. But when you have a guy like Paris is a dude with extreme athletic ability that's going to be able to go in, be molded and shaped, and could potentially be a perennial Pro Bowl guy. He probably has the highest ceiling of any guy in that draft. Gotcha. I'm a big fan of Paris, dude. And he was I saw him on the field.
Go to the photo. Go to the Twitter photo Taylor posted with Joe Thomas.
Yeah, because there's a
different one. Joe's on the field. Go to Taylor's profile.
It might be that, or it could be on Joe's Instagram as well. Oh,
there it is, right there.
Yeah,
that man. Look at that dude. Look at that dude.
He's got smaller calves. Yeah.
VMO.
He
does have smaller calves, but that VMO is definitely storming outside.
He's built very well, and of all the drills, the change of direction drills and all that, because he didn't run. I don't know if he did the vertical or the broad or anything like that, but he didn't run the 40, which I was disappointed in just because I wanted to see it. I don't think it affected his draft stock at all. But the 40s weren't as fast as I thought they were going to be. I think the fastest time was like a 4.99, and I thought he was a guy with the athletic ability that could probably get out and get under that 4.9.
Yeah, long fucking arms too.
Long arms. Christ. Yeah, dude. He's got a good opportunity, and they're doing the bench press today. So I did that, and I was able to go upstairs with Daniel Jeremiah and Rich Eisen, and dude, that was probably one of probably the highlight of my day. I loved being around those guys on the field, but being around Rich and getting to know Rich for the last 9-10 years, and having that kind of chemistry with him. And I've known Daniel for 9 years as well. So it was just very comfortable, very fun to be up there. It's very cool seeing a bird's eye view of those guys running the 40s and just kind of picking Daniel's brain, the way he looks at things. We talked about Olu, it's Olu or Ola, the center for University of Michigan. He was the Remington Award winner and the first Outland Trophy winner in Michigan history. And then all of a sudden these draft boards come out and he's like the third center on the board. Like, how does that even fucking happen? Daniel was explaining to me, like, that's a media-based award. He's a part of the Joe Moore Award-winning offensive line. Boom. And now you have his words, not mine, the professionals now deciding who is the best in the draft as far as movement. I'll tell you who was another good one, Mitch. You're going to love this, is that center. That center for Ohio State, I thought, did a great job of moving mobility, not built like a house like our boy Olu here, but that man, I think his name is Luke Wyple. Luke Wyple, I believe is his name. He's a center, Wyple. Wypler. Yeah, he did a good job. He definitely has more of that Jason Kelsey build. He can move around very well, very fluid athlete. I thought he did a good job. He's gonna make himself a nice little career in the NFL. But it was fun, man. I had a great time. Got in the car after that. Went to St. Elmo's, grabbed the cocktail sauce for us.
Yes, sir.
Got about 6 bottles too.
Yes, sir. Did you bring it?
I didn't bring it. I'll bring it tomorrow.
Oh.
But my driver, his name is Knight. He picked me up at 7 a.m. and drove me all the way to Indianapolis because it's literally faster than getting on an airplane. After I was like, hey, you hungry? He's like, yeah, I'm hungry. And I was like, let's go get dinner. So it's just me and him at St. Elmo's.
That's
sitting there.
awesome.
Got him a steak, Oscar style. It was nice, dude.
How was the shrimp cocktail?
I got 2 of them. Fire, bro. Because with the teeth, I can't be chewing like too far up. So I was really chewing in the back, and that shit was moving me around a little bit back there, bud. Nose was dripping a little bit, eyes were watering. But buddy, I was having a great fucking time with it.
It's a rush.
A great time.
You like to chase.
Yeah. Mitchie, what you got?
For Jack's sake, any movement on Rich, getting him on the bus?
Yeah, Rich is down to come on the bus. It's just a matter of getting him out here. I think these next couple of months might be the best time to get Rich out when he's not doing a show, because the draft's in a few months. Free agency's going to hit. So it all depends on his schedule. But for those of you listening, Rich has tried to come on the podcast on 3 separate occasions or 2 separate occasions. Camp last year. And at the Super Bowl
this year.
Yeah, and so we actually declined that one. I said that on NFL Network. But a great dude. He's going to be a great hang when he finally comes on. And then it'll be Judgment Day for Jack, and we'll see everything after that.
I have a pretty strong hunch that that'll be a well-kept secret, and I think he's just going to show up one day. But that's just my thoughts on it.
I didn't think about that, but maybe we should do that.
A little surprise. Rich Eisen coming on.
We'll see.
Now, if you do win that Chevrolet, do you want us to get the Chevrolet when Rich comes on, or after Rich comes on and we've gone through all of our homework, you get the Chevrolet?
I don't know.
Do you, oh,
What
wait,
provides
it's
better
not- it's not.
content?
That's all. That's the game we're playing, isn't it?
That's
I'll
the
tell
game
you
I'm playing.
who just got a Chevrolet is Traylon Burks, which says a lot about the career he's about to have. Very durable, reliable individual, hopefully coming in the coming years. I saw on the Instagram today, he got himself a ZR1. Good looking vehicle.
It's probably the same one I got.
Yeah, probably. It seemed like it had a little lift on it, though. It had a little more meat
The
potatoes on
CR,
it.
Whatever.
With
CR
that,
something. The 2023. That thing is nice, bro. That shit is fucking awesome. I need to get me some. It's got nice tires on it, but I need a little bit wider to where it barely sticks out. Barely. You remember my old Platinum Flex? Like that, bro, where it just kind of sticks out a little bit on the side. Put some rims on it. No, not that vibe. Not that vibe. No, I'm not talking about jacking it up and doing all that stuff to where you got the tires wide. You know, I do have a small piece, but I don't need to do the whole overcompensation on it.
you do need to put like a nice little leveling kit on it, though.
It's got one. I think I'm gonna keep it as is. I think I
Really?
just want tires and I want some wheels on it, like some
What
black.
about the space?
I want it kind of to be like the.
Don't say that. Bleep that out. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely bleep that.
Yeah,
out. That's my fault. But yeah, I want it to be. I want it to be like my old truck.
Did you have spacers? Where the tires come out a little bit outside the wheel wells.
Yeah, it stuck out. That's what I was just saying. I said
Okay.
I want the tires to come
Yeah.
out just a little bit. Like I don't want it to be like like the competitor that starts with an R word, ARAP. It's like a dinosaur. I don't want it to be like that. That's too wide.
Yeah.
But I do want it to have a little bit. Poke it a little bit.
Yeah, there is too much you can do to a truck for sure. I think the way you had your last truck, very classy, very well put together, but it had enough oomph on it to say, oh, he put his nice little spin on it. I do. When I get my Chevy, I think we should do this. We should get CB radios.
CB radios.
CB radios are what like
Trucker radio.
like truckers radios, and we would stay on a frequency so we can talk to each other.
Yeah, I love that.
Big wobbly fucking wire in the back of your truck.
Yeah, I would love that as long as it's got an on and off switch.
You're such a cuck, dude. With that being said, now that the vibes are higher than ever, let's go to shout out. No free shout out of the week. Bloss, are you ready or do you need a second, my boy? Bloss is ready. Let's hear what you got.
My shout out this week is more of a hack. It's putting your phone under your pillow. So if you know you got to wake up in the morning, and you got to set your alarm a little earlier than probably who you're with, your spouse, whatever, your alarm won't wake them up, but it'll wake you up by being under your pillow. Or if you're listening to a podcast, you don't want, to disturb the other person, slide that thing under your pillow. You could listen without disturbing them.
Solid.
That's solid. I mean, if you like ear cancer, that's something. Brother, the radiation beaming on your fucking ear the whole time?
My only issue is that shit might start a fire. My phone gets hot when
If we're getting into the radiation game, like having just our phone in our pocket hurts with testosterone.
You know what I do too? I put my phone here on my sack when I'm driving.
You getting direct radiation on
That's
the.
probably why I got injured.
Sack.
All right. Well,
Jackie boy.
my shout out, no free shout out, goes to a game that I think we all know and love, but it's an aspect of the game, but it's pool. And we were playing a little pool on Thursday night this past week. And it's that one moment you could literally not have hit a shot all game, but if you hit the fucking 8-ball in, scratch the record. It's literally you're the king, you're the hero. And there's like such a dopamine rush you get when hitting in the 8-ball, but I think it's even better when you've been doing well in a pool game and you have a struggling partner and they're up on that last 8-ball shot and it might be a little difficult and you're like, all right, let's just go ahead. You're going to miss. Hopefully I'm going to pick it up on my next shot. And by the grace of God, this man sinks the 8-ball. It's almost better watching your boy hit one in when he hasn't hit one in all day. So my shout out, no free shout out, goes to sinking that 8-ball shot. It's truly a rush.
not a big billiards guy, but I can see the love there. I can definitely see the love.
Solid one.
Mitchie, what you got, homie?
Especially when you shake their hands after, like.
That's the one.
Because there's something different about like a playing pool too, or some just those games that aren't like, the main fucking games where you just shake hands after a game's over. When you win at pool and you go shake their hand and you hear the stick kind of
immediately
drop.
Turn, you go, all right, who's next?
Yeah, bro.
Quarters in.
Yeah.
And oh god, love it.
My shout out, no free shout out this week goes to, it's a feeling that all right, I'm going to start this over.
Go ahead.
You go out on Saturday night, you have a good time with the boys and everything. Sunday, you normally wake up hungover, just feeling like absolute dog shit. But my shout out, no free shout out, goes to that next day when your body completely resets and you feel like a new human and the hangover is gone and you just completely like it just is a euphoric feeling of like
You're back.
I'm back. This is how I should feel. I don't know why I do it to myself every Saturday night, but I makes you not want to drink again. So it goes to that the day after the hangover.
The day after the hangover. And it also gives you like a newfound like motivation as well. You're like, hey, I felt like shit. I got to earn this Monday. Yeah. I got to make sure this Monday's going to be the best Monday ever and kick this week off the right way. It's a solid shout out, no for shout out. Willie?
My shout out, no for shout out goes to the power trip you get from being in group 1 or like A1 through 15 on a flight.
Oh my God.
I was a little bit later on my layover on my connecting flight in Houston. And so I walked up and group 2 and 3 was going, but I'm group 1. So I got to walk down the group 1 line and, you know, you kind of like look to the side like, hey guys, I won at life. So then you show them that the lady's like, hey, are you group 1? I'm like, yeah. She's like, come on up here. And then you kind of hit it and, you know, you're just kind of like walking proudly.
Yeah.
Like you just.
Best posture you've ever had.
Yeah. Or like, you know, everybody's lining up for the Southwest flight. And then you get to be like, hey, what number are you? And then, you know, they'll just be like, oh, I'm 9. And you're like, I'm 7. So I'm in front of you. He's just like, I'm just going to wiggle in here.
That's fucking
and then
great.
In your mind, you think there could be a little something there because you just kind of got them. When we were coming back from Cabo, I had to do that because the Cabo airport was like madness. They almost just do, hey, if you're A, come on up and we'll just start ringing it up. So I'm like, I see like this older couple who like gets up there and I'm thinking like, yo, we're up there in the A's, right? And I'm thinking, hey, what is your, and I saw them from afar. They were like A52. And I'm thinking they shouldn't be going right now. And I'm like, hey, sir, which one are you? And he's like, you know, A52. And I'm like, brother, you're back there. Cause he was cutting like everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. This wasn't just a personal thing, but it's like those people were kind of taking advantage of the system, trying to get up there just because they got a fucking ticket.
Right. Do it right.
Yeah.
Do it right.
Yeah.
Dude, that happened to me one time on a Southwest flight. I was like A7 and I was counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Well, some cuck comes down the line and is standing in front of A1 for a second, kind of like not in the line, kind of he's wavering back between the line and the line. All of a sudden, A1 through 15, you're up. He jets in front of A1, puts it down. I have no idea what his number was, but I bet you he was a late A like that.
Yeah,
it's
like that stuff really pisses me off, too. I don't know what it is. Like, I get real, like, internally mad when I see people, like, trying to take advantage of, like, the system or something like that, especially in the flight game, bro. When you're in the flight game, like, you want shit to go smooth. And if you're fucking it up, you're part of the reason we're not taking off on time.
Yeah.
But anyway.
That's a good one, dude.
My shout out goes to the power trip you get from being Group 1 or A1 through 15. That early bird special on Southwest.
Speaking of, this week the boys are flying out Thursday to Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm sure we'll be an A or a Group 1. You know?
Yeah, Taylor and I will be. Taylor and I will be in that
No
Group
question. 1. We'll save you boys a seat, maybe. And it's going to be a great week. We're going to be at Dana. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of shit. It's going to be amazing. Just more fun stuff because of you guys that have allowed us to do that. My shout out, no free shout out this week goes to pool games. Not pool games like pool games like pool basketball, like sharks and minnows, like when you're throwing rocks in the pool and you hold your breath and try to get all 3 of them and then come up before you even come up for air. The anticipation of the competition when the weather's great and the sun's out and you're in the pool with the boys. When you're playing Marco Polo, dude, when you're playing Marco Polo and you're in the deep end of the pool and that guy's coming towards you, Marco, and you yell Polo, take the biggest deep breath of your life and hit the bottom.
And you're legit scared.
Bro, you're
like,
laying,
fuck, I'm trying to figure it out.
Like this, like just holding yourself up as far down as possible while the feet are right here and you're like, please God. That anxiety, all of that, and then he floats away from you, brother.
The win.
That's a fucking win. How can I get up? Up. Gotta watch out now.
Take it easy. You just flipped that.
That is a feeling. And the summer's coming, boys, whether you like it or not. Bloss, well, the winter sucks. We didn't get enough winter. Dude, fuck that shit. Fuck the cold. I cannot wait for sunshine, pool days, grilling with the boys. It's going to be an amazing time, and it's right around the corner. I can't fucking wait. That's my shout out, never shout out. Beer Olympics?
That's going to go down this year?
Oh, yeah, it'll go down this year.
So we definitely got to figure something out. That was a good fucking time.
You know what we should is take it to the masses. Should we do another Tennessee Titans beer Olympics or go to a different team and get their offensive line? David Bakhtiari, the Packers.
We should have like an invite only Beer Olympics.
That's
Like a
outstanding.
golden ticket type.
Yeah.
thing.
Like bring the boys from around. Bring the boys from around the
Whistle
country.
Pig whiskey, you see a paper float in there, you've won.
Yeah. Like do invite boys from around the country just to come into Nashville for a
Hell
day.
yeah, brother, that'd be
Like
awesome.
we're doing the Beer Olympics and you
Friday.
got the invite.
That would be sick. Hey, we're no longer taking the masses. That's what we're doing. Invite only beer Olympics.
Invite only Beer Olympics. Should we talk about the South Carolina tickets going on sale? They should be on sale by the time you hear this.
Brother, let them know.
So the spring tour is starting March 15th. We kick it off
Next
at
week.
South Carolina, the Gamecocks, Gamecock Country. We will be there next Wednesday,
Cock country.
March 15th, being at the facility. But more importantly, we're going to be doing a live show that evening. We believe it'll be an 8 o'clock show, hour long. There'll be if you buy VIP or whatever, we're going to do like this meet and greet beforehand. But all of that will be in a link. We're probably going to drop the link. You'll see it on the socials. You'll see it on Bussin WTB. Those tickets are on sale now. So you got to go swoop them up. I don't know how many there are in South Carolina. I don't know what that place holds.
I think it's like 200.
Yeah, 200. But the boys will be in South Carolina
Hopefully
next week.
tickets go fast.
Yeah, and all the other spots that are out there listening, like when they think they're going to get their tickets, I'm sure all of them will be out by next week. But I know first and foremost, South Carolina, since that one is coming up on us next Wednesday, South Carolina fans, if you're there in was it Charles or Columbia? I was going to say Charleston. It's like the only city I know in South Carolina.
No,
But if you're in Columbia, if you're in Columbia or you want to travel to Columbia, the boys will be there next Wednesday, March 15th, 8 p.m. at Tin Roof. So yeah, get your tickets.
It's going to be fucking awesome, dude. We're going to have energy.
We'll put the link in the description.
Fans
There
will
you
be a
go.
part of the show as well. We'll do some questions. You guys will definitely have.
We'll get some
be able
shout
to
out,
have
no
your
free
piece.
shout outs.
No
We need
question.
some shout out, no free shout outs.
But basically, if you're wondering, hey, what are the boys going to do for their live show? You're watching us do the live show right now. Just come be with us in person. We're going to do a meet and greet before.
Yeah.
Hang out, shake hands, sign whatever, kiss babies, whatever you guys want us to do, dude.
We're going to be having
We're there
fun.
for you.
Everybody's going to be involved in this live show. It's going to be a good time. It's gonna
Another
be a
thing
good
to think about too, that's right around the corner. Let's make sure we're doing a good job planning is St. Patty's Day, boys and girls. The merch,
Gone.
it's gone. That's how fast it's selling.
Yeah,
That's
there you
how
go,
fast
there you
it's
go, there
selling.
you
It's
go.
already gone behind the bus. St. Patty's Day merch, you're gonna go to barstool.store/barstool.com.
Here you go. store.barstoolsports.com/bussin. Fuck it. Go to store.barstoolsports.com, click the brands tab, hit Bussin' with the boys. That's where you go find our merch.
Boom. And then if that's too hard, hey, I need the boys to put a fucking link right here. So you can just click that. You'll get to it. You can come back to the podcast. Make sure you order that stuff because if you don't order now, we don't know if it's going to really make it to you by St. Patty's Day weekend. So
Should though. Hey, Garrett, isn't it
Yesterday.
Yeah, it'll get there fast.
it'll
Order
get
it.
there fast.
Order
dude. It's all right, Gary. We got it. It'll get there.
Yes.
Yeah,
Order it
but
now.
order
If
it
you're
now.
listening right now, today is probably the last day you might get it by St. Patty's Day.
Boom. And if you don't get it by St. Patty's Day, hey, you've already done your shopping for next St. Patty's Day. So you're good to
ahead.
go, dude.
You're ahead.
You're ahead. Absolutely. We are going to have an absolute blast in Vegas. Fred Warner podcast. Will was not able to make it. He was getting a passport because we had to go to Cabo because Cabo is the greatest place on earth. He and I sat down. Incredible guy, really well spoken, talked about the trials and tribulations of the season with the quarterback. He talked about his mindset when he came in as a rookie. What was he doing? What was he going about? Those types of things. It is an awesome podcast. I really hope you guys enjoy. Now listen, YouTube, we are this close to 300,000 subscribers. So subscribe, tell a friend, dude. Like the movie Pay It Forward. You tell two people, they tell two people, and it keeps on going. And we're going to turn this thing.
Network marketing, brother.
That's how it all works.
101.
298 right now. 298. So let's bump that up. Let's get it going. And we'll start attacking 400 once we get there. Please enjoy this episode right after this ad read by Proper Wild. Must have product on the camera. Boom. Well, that's what it says. Other notes, must have product on the camera.
I'm going to do a shot with the boys.
right.
You want to go ahead and do this one?
Yeah, Proper Wild is a clean all-day energy shot designed to boost your energy, focus, and productivity without the jitters or crash. And they have 3 new flavors: strawberry kiwi, apple, yum, and lemon lime. No preservatives, no artificial sweeteners, no horrible chemical, just a natural tasting energy shot with clean ingredients that work.
Proper Wild was, when Bet the Bus was rolling hot, the presenting sponsor for Bet the Bus. Not only did we make you money, but we saved you money. And we're going to save you money right now. properwild.com/Barstool to try Proper Wild for 30% off. And this is a cheers to you guys. This is the app. I'll let you know how it goes. No artificial
did I say that wrong?
sweeteners. No artificial sweeteners.
I said sweeteners.
This is incredible.
No
always
artificial
It always
sweeteners.
has been, though. I know people are just watching me maybe for the first time do it, but Proper Wild really is good.
How many milligrams of caffeine are in it?
I think it's
100,
100.
I think.
You
120.
200.
120.
120.
Yeah.
You should hit doubles like that.
Yeah. Yeah, 120. Clean, long-lasting, all-day energy. You guys are going to love it. Should we get into the Fred Warner episode?
Absolutely. Big hugs, tiny kisses, go rip.
Buy your tickets. Spring tour.
We are rolling.
All right, baby, let's do it.
Let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Bussin' with the Boys. Our guest today, the legendary, probably the best linebacker in the entire NFL, Mr. Fred Warner. Let's get a round of applause for the boys, dude. Let's get a couple claps for the
I
boys.
appreciate it. It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me on.
Will Compton can't make it. I'm very disappointed that he can't make it. Linebackers.
Come on.
I'm sure you growing up looked at him as a
looked at
valued
him.
asset. You
That was
watched
my
his
Ray
film.
Lewis. Yeah.
That was your Ray
My
Lewis.
Ray Lewis, yeah.
Will is him.
So I'm actually sad he's not here. Will, if you're watching this or if you do watch this, I'm hurt.
He does. We watch our own episodes because we need to boost our own numbers. That's like the biggest thing for us. Is are you aware that year 10 was stolen from him?
That my what?
No, that Will's year 10 was stolen from him.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yep. The Roger Goodell and the NFL boys were trying to keep him down. Really, he just had a gambling show on Bet the Bus. So there's
Okay.
literally him betting on NFL games, and the NFL's like, no, you can't do
Yeah,
this.
you can't do that. That's a
But
big
they
no.
tried to take it. They absolutely tried to take it.
Yeah,
When I first walked in here, this is your agent right here to my left.
this is him, yeah.
So he brought up something to me, and it opened some old wounds.
Yeah.
He is married to a girl that I had a crush on in elementary school. Can I say her name?
Which
Is
I
it okay
still,
if I
don't,
say
I
her
still
name?
don't believe it.
Her name is Julie Giordano. Right. Julie Ferrari now. Yo, yeah, just rubbing it in now. What a cool fucking last name. What a cool last name. So I'll tell the same story I already told.
Yeah.
Elementary school, we're like 3 months into the school year, and they're like, hey, everyone, you can change seats. You want to sit by somebody else? We want to keep it all going. I take this as my opportunity. I'm finally going to sit next to Julie. I go over. She's facing the opposite direction. I slide on into the chair, and she looks, sees me, and screams. I immediately get up. And I'm like, that's not for me. That obviously is a tale. And then I brought up somebody else, Courtney Bielli, and you're like, they're best friends. So, buddy, it's been a hard day for me.
Dude, I don't understand how you remember things like that far back.
Oh.
Third grade,
There will be
blur. All of elementary school is a blur to me. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't have any good friends from elementary school?
Yeah, no, I have great friends, who, I grew up with all the way middle school, high school, but like elementary, like just like those little moments that you just threw out there right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could never pull that from the memory banks. I don't know.
Really?
I don't think so. Yeah, maybe that's the football. I don't
Is
know.
that worrisome for you
A
when
little
you
bit,
think
yeah.
about that?
It's a little bit worrisome, yeah.
Dude, I'll go up to people sometimes and I'll literally like look at them and be like, hey, Taylor, nice to meet you. They're like, yeah, we've met 3 times. And I'm like, oh my God, it's terrible. I guess my long-term memory is good, but my short-term memory is just terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
But I'm obviously going through it right now. You have to be going through some sort of an emotional turmoil right now, being in Arizona in a game that you probably believe you should be playing in.
Yeah, no, it was hurtful yesterday being by the stadium and actually seeing it all dressed up. Because like for the longest time, I wrote sticky notes all over my house, like saying I'm going to be a Super Bowl 57 champion, February 12th. Like I wrote it out and I said,
Yeah.
this is it. So yeah, no, it sucks being here, seeing it all.
God, dude, that's got to be. And so when you get the call, like, hey, you're going to go down the Super Bowl, have you been to like the Super Bowl location before when you're not playing in it? Did you
last
play
year.
in it against Kansas City?
You talking about?
That was like what, 4 years ago?
No, yeah, Super Bowl 54. I was in
Yeah,
there.
you were in there. Okay, yeah. There it is. See the memory.
No, it sucks. Yeah,
It's terrible. it sucks.
it all
But
sucks.
do
Yeah,
you
until
usually
actually
come
win
down
it.
for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I went
Yeah.
there. I was there last year, and like same situation. We had just lost to the Rams in that same stadium, like the week
God,
before.
dude.
So
You guys have an absolute hell of a team, dude.
Yeah.
What when you look at the game, the NFC Championship, obviously the big glaring what if is your quarterback.
right.
You got Purdy. You had 2 quarterbacks before him.
Yeah.
Like, what was your thought process? We're gonna jump all over this season, but what was your thought process when you see Purdy get hurt?
I was like, oh boy,
Yeah.
let's giddy up. Like, but the thing was, bro, like, here's the crazy part about it is when Purdy went down, I still had full confidence.
Really?
Because, yes, Josh Johnson, a seasoned veteran, been in the league for about 50 years.
Like, you know, he can go out there and protect the ball, get it where it needs to go. And we got the top defense in the league. At that point, I think it was 7-0. So I'm like, all right, we're good. And then Christian goes and does like the Superman, you know, like goes and scores off of like some hero play.
Yeah.
And it's 7-7. Yes, stud. And like, so I'm thinking, okay, we're in it. Like 7-7, we're good. Josh gets concussion. He's out.
Do you think it was a real concussion? Did he fake it? do you think that was like something that the moment was too big for him?
No.
No.
He didn't fake it. I don't think he faked it.
Yeah.
But he goes down and we're on the sideline. I'm like, all right, who's next? Like, we don't have anybody else. And I heard the story recently that Christian was getting his helmet fitted for the QB thing. And I didn't know that was actually happening in real time. But then I see Purdy trotting back out. I'm like, well, what the heck? Why wasn't he in the whole time?
Because you thought he was faking it.
So then I'm thinking he's faking, right?
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, at that moment. You're like, yo, what's this dude doing? He's already the unsung hero of the season.
I'm like, why the hell hasn't Purdy been in this whole time?
Yeah.
But then he trots back out there and you see the guy just giving handoffs every play. I'm like, we're toast. This is like, what, the first couple plays into the third quarter?
Yeah, dude, I was flying back from Park City, Utah with my family, so I didn't get to watch the game. But when Will breaks it down to me, and we had Christian on yesterday,
yeah,
it just seems like the way it was framed to me is it seemed like the boys were kind of giving up, not the players themselves, but the play calling in general. Because you would think, all right, we're gonna put the green dot in Christian's helmet.
Okay,
let him just rip it. Just say fuck it, dude. Go swing that thing and hope for the best.
I mean, it's such a tough situation, bro. I don't know. Like, I mean, the game is literally over when you're down. It was 2 scores at that point. And you're going to say, all right, let's put the quarterback in whose arm's torn off and just have him hand the ball off and hope that we can run the ball down the field. Like when they're running punt coverage.
Yeah.
Just saying, all right, we're going to blitz every play.
Blitz everybody. That classic engage 8.
Exactly.
And just see what happens.
Yeah, it was like we were playing Madden, but we were losing.
Yeah, that's tough, dude. Like when you're looking and you see them handing it off like every single play, and then you're looking at it going, hey, we're toast.
Yeah.
How's like the mindset on, because you guys are number one, if not like top 2 most well put together NFL teams. You were in the other team that was in that conversation as the team you're playing.
Right.
And you guys, it seems like you guys have phenomenal chemistry. Kittle's a stud.
Yeah.
Christian's a stud. You guys rally around every single quarterback. You have the best left tackle in the game, Nick Bosa, who just won Defensive Player of the Year last night, right?
Right, yeah.
Stud.
Yep.
Just literally just seems like he's one step below in the evolutionary chart, right? His hands go down to his damn ankles. He just kind of grunts and moans. He just says a couple of things. Like, you guys have a solid squad in there. So how are the boys reacting during this thing? Could you feel the white flag coming up?
Yeah.
God, and that's tough. That's probably tough to admit,
dude,
too.
It's the worst feeling in the world. Like when you know that, like in the moment, as a competitor, you know this, like you're sitting there, you're like, you saw the clips of George, like rallying the boys, like trying to get them going. And I'm doing the same thing on my side. I'm thinking, we can still win this. Like, we still in this. And then you finally like kind of concede defeat at the end, like obviously when the game's over. But all the way through, I still had hope, you know, that maybe we were going to get a pick 6 or scoop and score fumble, try and get the game back going. But
they're not going to, I mean, once they see they're up 2 scores and you guys have no aerial attack, like what is the point? They're probably on their sideline saying, hey, no dumb plays. You're basically running a 4-minute offense.
They're like, all right, we just got to not lose this for ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, we just got to not give them the ball. And the turnover battle was huge for us all season long. Like winning, like I think we're plus 10, maybe over plus 10 during the season. And that was the reason why we went and won 12 straight, right? And then, you know, playoffs, same thing. As long as we took the ball away, we protected, we're going to win. Like the stat was we were undefeated and we were plus. Yeah. And in that game, I think we were -2, -3. God, so I was like, all right,
But you had to pick the week before against the Cowboys. What was the mindset going into the Cowboys versus going against the Eagles? Because you look at the Cowboys.
Yeah.
They got a lot every year. There's a big media on them. They're the biggest media market in the entire NFL.
Yeah.
But you knew.
Yeah.
You were very aware of what was about to go down.
Yeah, no, we were pretty confident. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and just boast and be like, oh, we knew we were gonna kill them. Like, no, it was like we knew that they were like
they got players now.
Dogs.
They got like, 2 good running backs. They have a great wide receiving core.
Them losing Tony Pollard in like the first quarter was huge. Like that's like their most dynamic player on that side of the ball. It opens up their entire offense. So like losing him made them a little bit not as, you know, dynamic on that side, I could say. They obviously were just feeding CD the whole time, like wanting to get him going. I think he ended up having like 11 catches for 100 some yards. So,
oh my word.
You know, It was what it was. The difference between that game and the Eagles game was like, I think the biggest difference was being at home and being away, like in a hostile environment. You know, had we had our quarterback, obviously it could have been a different ball game with the Eagles, but you know, shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Isn't it wild when you're playing a football game and the whole week, I'm sure you guys are in your defensive meeting room saying like, Pollard, you guys got to like neutralize this individual. And then obviously you go CD and stuff like that. But like, there's always like a key focus on certain individuals you play against.
Right.
And then you get into a game, and I've been there too. Like, I'm playing against a stud defensive end.
Right.
And all of a sudden, maybe he gets a groin or something early in the game. I'm like, oh, and you never want, like, you never hope like someone gets hurt, obviously.
Not at all.
But there is a piece of you that's like,
Not at all.
oh, the day just got a little bit easier for me.
It made it for sure got easier
For
when he
sure
got out.
easier, dude.
You never want to see it happen like that.
No,
especially
and
the
that's
type
not
of
what we're
injury he had.
saying
Like,
here,
it
yeah.
was like, bro, it's gruesome ankle, like nasty looking. And I saw some come out about how they're going to try and change the way people tackle or something now. Like the drop tackle, I guess is what it's called.
What is a drop tackle?
I don't know. I've never even heard of that in my entire life. They said because Jimmy Ward, the guy who was tackling him, slid down his legs and then like the pressure of his body.
That's what happened to
landed on
Delaney
his
Walker
leg.
against Miami in like 2019.
Did something happen to his leg?
Yeah, he snapped. I think it was
Ooh.
a tib fib. It didn't come out of the skin, but that thing was
It
looking
the
like
same thing
a.
with this, with Pollard, like, but you can't control that. Like it's a desperation tackle. It's not like I'm gonna wrap him, slide down, fall on his leg. Like no,
Right.
it's like you're desperate to try to get this guy down. You know what I'm saying? So
That seems like something that's like such a frustrating thing for the defensive player because Nick Bosa had something earlier in the year, right? He tackles the quarterback, they throw a penalty on him. It's
the
like
whole quarterback thing
when
is crazy. Yeah,
like, it's outstanding that the NFL wants to help players. Now they're also putting in a turf field in Nissan Stadium next year, and everyone's all against turf fields. But
Yeah.
they're at least showing to the public that, hey, we want to keep these players healthy and safe. But there's got to draw a line where you literally have to understand what you're signing up for.
Right.
Like Pollard needs to know, like when you get tackled, the way he gets tackled, there's an option that your leg
most
is
definitely.
going to be facing the wrong way at the end of that. And buddy,
Unfortunately, yeah.
when you see that during a game, like there is no more will to play anymore for
Bro,
at least 4 or 5 snaps. Like that
It's
is
the worst feeling in the world. Like especially seeing that live. Like that's like my fear. Like I would, knock on wood that never happens to me. But
yeah.
the whole like the breaking legs and all that, it's just like it's not right. But like you said, like you know what you're signing up for. Like
Yeah.
it happens, rarely, but it's what you're signing up for.
So where do you see that line being like defined? Because eventually the NFL can't turn this into 2-hand touch. It's
Right.
it's a violent
Flag football,
game.
like
Flag
Pro Bowl.
football like the
Yeah.
Pro Bowl, which we will get into that. That was absolute garbage, dude. Absolute garbage. But that you'll have a whole experience talking about that.
Yeah, sure.
Like where do you think the line is when it comes to like keeping guys healthy, but also understanding the risk that we're all going into when we play this game?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, bro, why do people turn on football, like and turn on NFL football and watch? It's because they want to see people hitting each other. Like
Yeah.
they want to see like the violence of the game and, understanding the integrity of the game, like and wanting to help protect the players. There is a fine line there. They're doing the whole protecting the quarterback situation because you see what happens clear as day in our situation, what happens when you don't have your quarterback,
Yeah.
and how that affects the success of your team. So, I mean, that's why they're getting paid all the money, and because your team is, a large part of it is the success of your team is from the quarterback. So, I get it from that standpoint of wanting to protect the quarterbacks, but a lot of it is like kind of ticky tack, and it's like, all right, like come on, we got to know common sense now. What
to you is ticky tack?
I mean, this year there was like some weird ones where like they don't want you to slam the quarterback down too hard, like when you're sacking him.
Yeah.
I understand like the landing on him. The landing on him thing, it's like you have to roll off with one arm down on the ground or brace yourself and then kind of off to the side. Like it's just like so like fine, like this is fine details in it all.
Yeah.
It's like and these things are happening like quick. Like these are quick decisions having to be made like in action. So, it's interesting.
It is an interesting deal, dude. Especially like if I'm a defensive player and I'm sacking a quarterback and I have to think about all the little minute details you're saying, low key, you're putting yourself in risk to get injured.
Absolutely.
And that's like, but the NFL's got to follow what they do, which is protecting the money. They're going to protect
Absolutely,
Tom
yes.
Brady. They're going to protect Aaron Rodgers and all those guys.
Yeah.
And it's tough. And I think the thing that's an issue with that is those rules aren't consistent based on the quarterback.
Right.
You get those older guys that are, Hall of
Yeah.
Famers or elite
Yeah.
quarterbacks. They're
They're going to get extra flags.
going to get extra flags.
Yeah.
And it's tough.
Yeah.
It is definitely
But you
tough.
also have to be aware, like as a defender, like, all right, you got to know who's going to get the calls, who's going to be a little bit more lenient. You got to know what ref crew you're working with. Like, all right, is this a crew that's going to let you play, or is it a crew that's going to, be a little bit more flag happy? So, it's all stuff that the people outside don't realize that you have to like kind of be aware of.
Do the coaches before games, do they let you guys know who the referees are and stuff like that?
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, these guys are big on DPI. These guys are big on holding.
Yeah, every crew has like a penalty that they're big on. Like they're like a heavily called this type of penalty. So it's not something that in game you're really thinking about. It's just something that you kind of put in your back pocket like beforehand. It's like, all right, well, kind of have it on my mind a little bit.
Yeah, you got to. It's understanding the rules and using the rules to your advantage.
There you go.
That's all you got to do. Your DC just left. He went to Houston, right?
Mm-hmm.
On one hand, you got to be stoked for him.
Yeah.
How do you think that affects you guys going into next year?
It's kind of like it's almost like a new challenge, It's like, well, my time being here, this will be my third DC in 6 years. So, but the difference was that Demeco was the descendant of Saleh. Like he was under Saleh. Okay, it was almost the exact same defense except a little tweaks here and there. Now we're bringing in a new cat who hasn't been a part of part of our system or even a part of the building. And so kind of bringing him in and. I haven't met Coach Wilkes yet, but I'm eager to. I've heard nothing but good things. Shaq Thompson hit me up and was like, "Man, you're gonna love Wilkes, bro." Like,
really?
Yeah, like the Mike Eats in this defense, and great dude, man. Everybody loved him, so I'm excited.
Yeah, dude, because you guys have a punishing defense.
Yeah.
It is. I worry. Do you think when head coaches get or D coordinators, O coordinators, when they get head coaching jobs, do you think they evaluate where they're going? Or they just see the head coach and they're like the head coaching title and they're like, oh, I'm gonna take that because
both.
If I'm Because if I'm thinking Houston,
right,
they have had an absolute revolving door of head coaches.
Yes.
The franchise is in shambles. Yep. That's not an opinion. That's literally a fact. Like shit just seems like it is hitting the fan over there.
That's true. Yeah.
Like, do you think he thought about that before he took that job, or is it like, hey, I get to be a head coach in the National Football League?
No, absolutely, he thought about it. He thought about everything, and he's a guy who lives in Houston. Mm-hmm. Had a house out there already and played for that organization. I think his wife is from Houston. Mm-hmm. So everything you have to take into account everything, and then obviously, is it the right fit? Is the front office in correlation with what your values and ideals are for what you believe the team is going forward? So everything obviously lined up.
Mm-hmm. Who do you want to win this game on Sunday?
I don't care.
Don't do that.
Come on now. What kind of question is that?
Yeah. I'm terrible at this job. I literally can't believe you even came on.
I'm just kidding.
But you look at the teams. Let's not say who we want to win. Let's say who do we think is going to win this game. And if you want me to go first, I will. That way, let you have a little more of a cushion.
Please. Absolutely.
I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to win this game by at least 10 points.
At least.
Yes. The only way, and Will brought this point up, I'm now using his point for him, but I put the insurance policy in there.
Good.
The only way Kansas City wins this game is on off-scripted plays. Okay. They're not going to be able, especially with, who's number 17 for the Chiefs?
Mecole Hardman.
He's out. They just put him on IR.
Right.
They got, Juju's got a knee. They got another guy with a hip. They got an ankle. Pat Mahomes is the ankle. I think, and their offensive line, I think the Eagles are going to eat.
Okay.
I think the Eagles are going to eat. And I think Philly's offensive line is going to eat.
Okay.
It is going to be a bloodbath on one side, and then Jalen's going to have a very long time to throw the football.
Wow. Is Jalen Super Bowl MVP then? Is that what you're saying? Or,
I don't know.
Or Jason Kelce is Super Bowl MVP?
Jason Kelce is going to be Super Bowl MVP of this game.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude, because I think obviously you're going to give it to Jalen. He's a quarterback. We've seen it in the past where it doesn't go to the quarterback, but I mean, if you're going to bet on that situation, you would bet the quarterback's going to be it.
Yep.
But I think top to bottom, the Eagles are a better football team. And here's where I'll speak against myself. I think Patrick Mahomes is getting to the point where you never bet against Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
He's truly like the baby goat.
Yes.
He's out here ripping around, 2-time MVP, just won it last night. He's a stud.
Yes.
So all that being said, you have the floor.
That's an interesting take. I hadn't heard that one yet.
I'm very good at my job.
The Eagles are just going to mop the floor with Casey.
Yeah, I guess I did.
Plus, it's mopping the floor.
I guess
in
I
the Super
did
Bowl.
say that. I guess I did say that in the Super Bowl,
Okay.
which is kind of disrespectful to Kansas City.
No, I mean it's cool. I mean we don't care. But I would say the opposite. I think KC wins.
Wow.
My reasoning being both teams are obviously they're obviously the best of the best. That's why they're there. Eagles are loaded. I do like the thought of the trenches kind of winning the game for them.
Mm-hmm.
The O-line being stacked, D-line stacked. But in my mind, the Super Bowl is very much so like a game of like experience. Who's been there? This is a staff with the Eagles that has never been in this game. KC and Andy Reid been there, has won it. Pat Mahomes been there, won it.
Who'd they win against?
Who did they win? Can't remember.
Yeah, me either. That's all right.
But anyway, they've been there and they've done it, dude. Like I feel like that's kind of like the difference maker, and like in those key moments, because there's like, it doesn't always come down to the last play. There's gonna be key moments in the game where it's like, all right, who's more seasoned in this to like be able to be like, all right, like who's gonna make the more critical decisions throughout the game. But at the end of the day, players make plays. Pat Mahomes is Pat Mahomes. Travis Kelce is Travis Kelce. Now I'm eager to see what the Eagles' defensive game plan is against that offense. Like, all right, are they going to say, you can beat us with anybody else except for 87? Like 87 is not catching the ball. Like we're going to triple team, double team, whatever we need to do, and make them beat us some other way. I don't know.
So what do you think their game plan is going to be? Because the easy answer is double Kelce.
I'll do it.
Play man on everybody.
I'll do it.
And try to get to the quarterback.
Man, double, or zone, and have somebody else in the area be able to bump him, do something. If you just let Travis Kelce run around and he gets 12 catches for like 140 yards, 2 tugs, and wins Super Bowl MVP, what are you doing? Like this is like, what are you doing? Come on.
Or the opposite when he has like 6 catches, 4 touchdowns, and 25 yards that one game.
Right.
It's just crazy.
It's a red zone threat.
It is. Well, that's a unique storyline too when it comes to the Super Bowl is Jason and Travis.
Yeah.
Like that's got to be
so dope.
Yeah, you have a brother that plays at BYU right now, or
we played together for 2 years, and now he's doing USFL.
He's doing USFL.
Yeah, in Memphis.
Has he told you about that process?
No. I mean, he hasn't even gone yet. He leaves in March.
Oh no way.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about playing there next year.
Stop.
Why not? Why not? I thought if I retire, dude, I'm just gonna go and do USFL or do a CFL.
Just stop.
Try to be all Canadian and get the fuck out. BC Lions, baby.
There's no way.
There's no way.
No.
Have you ever thought about doing that when your career is like over? Like, why not just?
Why not? Just for the love of the game.
For the love of the game, brother.
Really bro. Yeah.
That would be.
Just love ball so much. You're just gonna,
Just gonna go do it just to see what happens.
Right.
I feel like that's like the CFL especially is like a wildly underestimated, like football.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I don't really know much about it either, but I've heard good things for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you look at your team, you have a handful of guys that are going to be free agents this next year.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys finally put it together and get back to the Super Bowl?
Do the same exact thing we did.
You have to re-sign those guys?
We make sure both our quarterbacks get hurt, get down to the third string quarterback, and then get a top defense, and then we'll be right back.
Who do you think is going to be your quarterback next year? This is obviously a question your agent does not want me to ask.
Yeah, I don't
probably
know.
A ridiculous question.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Because I feel like people have already forgotten about Trey Lance.
Yeah, unfortunately for Trey, I mean, it's like, he just hasn't had like the best end of the stick, right?
Right.
Just kind of like every time he's been out there. You talk about this season. He went out there the first game in a monsoon, second game gets hurt, breaks his ankle. And then...
What's with y'all on ankles?
I know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, just hasn't had the best end of the stick. But I'm excited for him to obviously get an op now, just in off-season program, just to, take the reins and we'll see what happens.
Because you got him, obviously, you got the most handsome guy in the NFL, Jimmy G.
Yeah.
And he's going to be a free agent, right?
Yeah, I think Kyle already came out and said that he's not coming back, but he said the same thing last year too. So
yeah,
we'll see.
And it seems like you guys kind of need that. And then you got Brock Purdy, and then I was listening to, I was talking with Christian McCaffrey, and he was saying that you guys saw him on defense and knew like he was legit a stud.
Yeah.
Because I have had this take of people have told me Brock Purdy's not that good. He just has aliens around him. That is what I was told.
Who said that?
I can't do that.
Okay,
I will tell you after. I will tell you after.
We'll discuss afterward. Yeah.
But this person is in the NFL.
Okay.
And they understand the game.
Have they played against Brock?
They have not played against Brock. It's not a player.
Oh, it's not a player.
It's not a player.
Oh, I thought you said he plays
this
in the
person
NFL.
pulled film up for me.
Okay.
And showed me him missing throws and different things. And his big take on Brock Purdy. I am just giving you the information I've received.
All right.
I'm the messenger.
You're right.
His take on Brock Purdy is that he is a quarterback that can do a good job of like being a manager, but the reason why he seems so successful is because there's aliens around him. Now, I want your take on how you feel about like seeing him in practice every day And then when McCaffrey was, when I was asking him about when Jimmy went down,
Okay.
he said, you guys were like, Brock is legit.
Yeah.
So why am I getting two different storylines here?
Oh, I don't know. Like I think Brock is dope. Like I've always been a fan of his from day one. Going against him in practice, you know, you get guys who are the scout team quarterback, and they're just like they understand their role, and they're just like, all right, I'm just gonna go out here, kind of just whatever, do my thing, or just do whatever I need to do. Like Brock's mindset was, I'm trying to ball.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to make myself better by going against the top defense. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just a matter of, you know, I'm just gonna go out here and tell them to do whatever they need me to do, read the card. Like he's legit trying to get better. Like he was trying to dice us up, and he was like here and there. You know, like you saw the ability in terms of like, there's weeks where he's playing as like a running quarterback, and he could actually like he has some wheels. Like he had like the shiftiness and like could do the little half step.
Little hezzy?
Yeah, a little hezzy.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Hezzy, and it's like, so we saw that in practice all the time, and I'm like, he's got something to him. You know the it factor, right? Like
he's got it.
You can't really describe it, you know, but it's it, and he has it.
That's going to be an interesting. I feel like for like the last 15 years, San Francisco's always had like a quarterback controversy going into the
every year I've been in there.
offseason.
I mean, it's like, well, not necessarily off season, but every year it's always been like devastating injury, off season stuff. Like it's just, you know,
It's just things
unfortunate.
you can't control too, because you guys have an outstanding offensive line. Mike McGlinchey, who's going to be a free agent, then you have literally the best player in the NFL, Trent Williams.
Yes,
Is that something you're willing to stamp right there? He's the best
Yeah.
player in the NFL.
he's up there. He's top 5.
Boys, we interrupt this episode. Taylor just had to dip. He had to go to the dentist. He's got to, I guess, fix a couple things. Who knows? Not to get all paranoid, but it's time we had to talk. The talk. You know, the one about the 3-letter word that ends in X. Not that one. We're talking about Tux, T-U-X. And when you need a Tux, the best place to go is to get one is The Black Tux. The Black Tux makes super easy to get an on-trend, top quality, guaranteed to fit Tux without ever leaving your house. Here's how it works. Take the Black Tux Fit Quiz, pick the style you want to rock, and boom, your Tux is delivered to your door 10 days before the day that you need it. That's plenty of time to try it on and make sure it wears well on you. And if the fit is not quite right, say hello to the Black Tux Fit Guarantee. Order a better size within a day or two of receiving the original one, and they'll send another tux right away at no extra cost. If you'd prefer an in-store experience, the Black Tux has showrooms across the country. Their expert fit specialists will help you find the perfect style tux or suit and make sure it fits just right. JP, you want to talk about your Black Tux experience coming up? So JP's going to a wedding here really soon. The Black Tux.
Your personal endorsement?
And JP, before Black Tux even came on board, and when Black Tux did come on board, JP lit up like a Christmas tree being like, oh, dude, we're using Black Tux for this upcoming wedding. I'll let him start talking about it.
Yeah, you know, usually it is kind of hard to find a tux for a wedding, and you're kind of bummed out because you're like, man, I got to pay for another tux.
And you don't want to put in the work like that to do it.
Exactly. But if you don't want to put in the work like that, you go to the Black Tux. The Black Tux, it was like the best online shopping tux experience I've ever had. Cannot recommend it enough, and it was perfect.
When's the wedding? Oh,
In
you
A-
already had it.
In April.
Oh, it's coming up in April.
Yeah, but they were accommodating on it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Legit though, when your boy's getting married and you got to go get a tux, you're kind of like, fuck. Got to go in, whether it's like, hey, the place is going to be Men's Warehouse or whatever the case may be. And you got to put in time or schedule to go in, meet with them, do all the fitting and everything else. I do like this, you just get on your phone, get on the app, take a little quiz, what fit you want to rock.
Fire.
Love that. Rent or buy, the Black Tux is the best place to go when you need a tuxedo for a wedding or special night. Right now, when you go to blacktux.com/bussin, use code bussin, you'll save $20 off your order. That's TheBlacktux.com/bussin. Code bussin to save $20. The blacktux.com/bussin. Code bussin. Back to the episode.
Because I look at your guys' squad. If you were on any other team, I feel like you'd be the best player on that team.
Mm-hmm.
Deebo, same thing. McCaffrey, same thing. Like,
It's
Kittle,
like the Pro Bowl every
same
day.
thing. Bro. It
Yeah,
is.
literally,
And then you literally look around, like, look at all these fucking Nick Bosa.
Yeah.
You look at all of these studs,
Yeah.
and you're like, who's their best player? And I'm biased. I'm offensive line, but I'm like,
Of course,
Trent
Williams.
is,
I'd agree.
he's him.
Yeah. Aside from myself, I'd say Trent.
Is that in that locker room? is everybody like, hey, Trent's him?
Yes.
Bro,
It's so funny watching Trent throughout the week. Like, he kind of just hobbles around. You know, he's like near what, like 12 or something.
yeah.
You know, obviously takes Wednesdays off, and then, you know, he's out there Thursday, does his thing. And then when he gets in the game, it's like he just goes Super Saiyan mode. Super Saiyan mode is like just, I've never seen anything like it. Ever.
Really?
Ever. The combination of like the ballerina feet with like just this humongous upper body and slamming guys, whether it's before or after the whistle, it doesn't matter, you know. Just,
yeah, dude, that
like,
is
bro,
a crazy thought.
Like, he's just an insane freak athlete with the mindset, you know, like of I can do this all day long, and just, I don't know, he's just a freak, you know.
He gets away. He's so good at understanding the game and where he has to be. I feel like his technique is not great. If you look at him in his stance, you can literally see, you can see like, okay, it's gonna be a run on this play, or it's gonna be a pass on this play, and literally people just still can't figure it out.
Doesn't matter.
He does the reach round block on backside cutoffs. He knocks guys down, and then all of a sudden, because Trent is the most talented offensive lineman I've ever seen in my entire life.
Easily.
He's not a dude that's like sprinting downfield, but he picks and chooses his time to end dudes. Just like, what was it, the Cardinals back in 2020?
2020 was when it was his first year with us.
It was like a stutter, like an open.
He hadn't played in a year. So it's like he had that thing, like that chip on his shoulder of like, I got to show I can still like play at the top.
Yeah.
And so he had to just go and end, what was his name? Hicks.
Yeah.
First game of the year.
First game of the year, like 15 snaps in.
Yeah.
And it was like a water boy scene.
Mm-hmm.
He just grunting and absolutely murdered that human being.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I've seen him do it several times now, and it's like, luckily not in practice, but yeah, in game. I would never want to play against him like on the other team.
What's his vibe at practice?
He's chilling.
He's chilling.
Chilling.
He knows he's him.
Absolutely.
And that's like not even a shot, because like there are dudes you play with in the NFL that you know, like, hey, we'll see him on Sunday.
Yep.
He's gonna be a stud. I ain't gotta worry. I do not have to worry about him. Like, let him understand his process.
To a T.
And that is it.
And everybody respects the heck out of him, bro. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, he's a captain every single year because guys truly do respect the way he goes about his business and like what comes out of his mouth when he does choose to like say something to the team.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to rank the top 5 players in the San Francisco 49ers, and yourself is included in this ranking.
Okay.
You take your time. We can cut out.
Why do you think we have some?
Ooh, uh-oh.
Oh, nice. Yeah, as long as it's not too long. Yeah, just text it to me, and then we'll do that after we do this.
Okay, top 5. Wow, this is kind of I might hurt some feelings though, because there's like a lot of talented guys on our team.
What we can do is we'll do a top 5.
Okay.
Obviously, you have to put number 1 as number 1, and then 2 through 5 can be a revolve.
Anybody.
It could be, what's that?
I'm saying like 2 through 5 could be like any order.
Yeah, exactly. Like 5 could be your 2, but we just know that these are the top 5 guys, and we'll give a couple honorable mentions because you guys are legit stacked like that.
Well, then I'll put myself at 1.
Ooh.
As
and you took that personal when I said Trent was the best player on the team.
Humbly, I'll put myself at 1. And then 2 through 5, I mean, you for sure got to go Trent, Bosa, George. God, see, I don't know. I can't do like 4 guys because
then
you got
honorable mentions.
Christian.
I know, dude. And they're legit both the same player. Well, you got a running back that can play receiver and a receiver that can play running back.
Somebody in there too, like, dude.
Well, he'd be God tier. we do a thing on the show called Tier Talk. Actually, we'll just do Tier Talk right now. That way we don't have to do it.
Okay.
Are you aware of Tier Talk?
I'm not.
That's okay.
All right.
So Tier Talk is basically what we're doing right now, except for it's going to become a little harder. It'll be our top 3.
Ooh.
Now, for the sake of the argument, I will say you are the best player on the San Francisco 49ers.
Thank you.
Which right now is putting you, because there's an agreement, you are now God tier.
Oh,
so
wow.
we've opened up the 1 slot, the 2 slot, and the 3 slot.
Okay.
And we'll both let ourselves have 2 honorable mentions.
Okay.
So you can go first. You can give your honorable mentions.
For the Niners?
For the Niners. I will go second.
So it's the same. Okay, so I'm going 1 through 5 again?
You're going 1 through 5, but you're going to start at 5. Now,
Holy cow.
but there's more skin in the game now because you are putting them in order now.
That's what I'm saying.
Isn't that tough?
That's really tough.
We can put the
I will for sure put Trent, Bosa at 2 and 3. I mean, you could sit there. You could flip-flop either of them the way it was. Since we're talking about Trent as the best player in the league, then we'll put him at 2. Bosa just won Defensive Player of the Year. Sorry, buddy, you're 3. It is what it is. 4 and 5, I would 4 and 5 is tough because you got three. I got 3 guys in mind. Obviously, Deebo, Christian, and George. One of those has to sit in honorable mention. I'm gonna put Christian, Deebo 4 and 5, and I'm gonna put George honorable mention. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Because you know George's going to be the coolest with that.
exactly. George, my boy. So I'm like, hey,
You know it's going to be all good.
Yeah,
And he's a
all
fan of
good,
the
baby.
show.
Yeah.
I asked him to come on today to co-host. Got ghosted. That's okay. That's the game.
He actually tried to call me, I think, as we were talking. Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah,
Dude, George is the best. All right.
yeah. He's great.
So we put you at God tier. You are at God tier. So my number 1 is going to go to Trent Williams.
Yeah.
My number 2 will be George Kittle.
Okay.
My number 3 is going to be Deebo. 4, Christian.
Mm.
5, Nick.
Wow.
Am I missing anybody?
Holy
yeah.
cow.
So now,
This is an offense guy, though. You know,
yeah,
you gotta
exactly. I have a built-in insurance policy on that.
Okay.
Is Nick Bosa as quiet and calm and collected as it is? Because there's a video, I think it's you,
Yeah.
hyping the boys up.
Yes.
Couldn't agree more.
Couldn't agree more.
Couldn't agree more. What,
Dude, I was
he
actually
legit like
kinda-
that all the time?
Dude, I didn't even realize he said that in the moment because I'm obviously like,
Because he said it to himself.
he just kind of said, he kind of turned around and said, couldn't agree more.
Couldn't agree more.
And when I saw the clip, I don't know how it made it kind of, I didn't like it. You know, like,
Oh, you did like
I'm like, really, Nick? Like, this is how you're doing me? No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. No, it was funny. It was hilarious. That whole entire mic'd up was comedy. But yeah, that's him to a T.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's funny. His brother seems the same way. His brother took a fat L before you guys lost the NFC Championship. You saw that? How are you? What are the Eagles fan? They've got to be the most rabid fan base.
Absolutely. Not even
Yes.
close.
It's not even close.
Not even close.
They're scary human beings.
Yeah, they're
It's literally
flipping
like
the-
Last of Us.
They're flipping the bird. Doesn't matter if you're a 2-year-old or if you're 50 or 60. Like they're all flipping the bird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're a fan of an opposite team than the Eagles and they're playing the Eagles and you bring your 2-year-old with you, you're a bad parent.
Yes.
You need to find a babysitter that day.
Absolutely. You should
Because
never
you're
bring a
going to
child.
war.
Yeah. Yes, you are.
Yeah. Tactically, where do you think Joey went wrong in that situation? Was it calling the butt buddy Snapchat, or was it that age old "I'm rich" comment? That you think tactically he probably didn't handle himself the best way?
Bro, I mean, that's I think that's just Joey though. Like, you know, bless his heart.
He said bless his
you
heart, bro.
Just out there, just
The ultimate disrespect.
fighting every single
Yeah.
Philly fan. Like they're all coming at him, and he's just taking them on.
Because if I'm Joey, I did like the butt buddy comment. I thought that was funny.
Yeah,
But the rich part, you're gonna lose that battle 10
Every
times out of
time.
10.
every time.
So that's when you just gotta let him have his moment, dap him up, make him become a friend,
Right,
right?
and then
Like,
they lose.
yes, and then they lose.
Yeah.
Because the Eagles, bro,
They're crazy.
I know, and they're about to be Super Bowl champions by 10 points.
Yeah,
What's the
what's-
line right now? It's like
did
one
you,
or
did you
two,
already
right?
did you already put that bet down, or
I don't bet.
oh, you don't?
No, I
Really?
am not associated with Bet the Bus at all because I'm technically still
You're
an
right.
active NFL player.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Yeah,
All right, I
It's
should
all
have
right.
said that. Maybe
No.
that's like, kind of like against the rules for even talking about it.
maybe, but actually, it won't matter.
All right.
Yeah, neither of us bet.
Yeah.
Will does he flaunts that thing around though. He does bet a lot.
All right.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, here
Did
we
you
go.
text it to me. All right. The Will questions. Let me read this first. I'm not good at reading. Hold on.
All right. Good. He said I'm not good at reading.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
As a linebacker, there are guys who run and hit, guys who can cover and are predominantly third down, passing down players. You can essentially do it all. You have speed. You meet people with bad intentions. You can run the middle of the field from the A gap. That's, by the way, that was very cool when you did that. It's rare to find a complete linebacker. What are things
Wow.
you've done as a player outside of genetic ability that's allowed you to grow and play at such a high level? Question 1. That was from Will.
Whoa. First of all, yeah,
That's
that
one of
was-
your heroes. That's got to be a huge to hear
No,
from.
that
him.
was huge right there. Yeah, that was very nice. Very nice of him. And thank you. But yeah, I mean, bro, when I came in, like I was nowhere even close to like the player I am now. Like, first of all, I played out of position in college. I wouldn't say out of position. It honestly helped me now being in the league now, playing Mike backer. I played like almost nickel, like out in space a lot. So when I got to the league, having that background allowed me to feel more comfortable in space. So they're like, all right, we're going to plug you in at Mike and kind of see how you do. We're not really sure where to put you. And Demeco being a Mike backer, like he was the perfect like coach for me to come under. Okay, well that kind of sounded weird, but
that's not
the perfect coach for me to learn from, because like he, like from day one, I remember where, in OTAs, rookies have extra like walkthrough time in between practices or something, and we're going through plays, and I'm in the huddle with some of the other rookies, and I'm like, all right, come to me, break.
Yeah.
Whispering, right? I've never given calls before. And Demeco grabs me, brings me to the side. Hey, you the Mike backer. Like, you need to make sure that you run the show. You run the show, speak up, and let these boys know. And I'm like, whoa, all right.
Yeah.
From then on out, bro, he never had to tell me anything ever again. Like, in terms of like running the show, I'm out there in practice. I'm screaming the calls at the top of my lungs, screaming them.
Was it that big of a flip right away?
Absolutely. Right away. Clicked, just like that. Like, for some reason, I don't know, I was blessed with being able to like retain information and coaching and all that kind of stuff. Like, I get things fairly quickly. So like, I was screaming them calls, like, and Kyle, I think, went in to the media and was like laughing about it. Like, yeah, this Warner kid, like, he's screaming the calls out there. I mean, you got to tell him, like, not so the offense can't hear like the calls. He needs to like, tone down maybe a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I just literally, I dove in after like I got in the league, and I realized, like, from the outside looking in, when you're not in the league, it looks like everybody's like untouchable. Like, it's like, wow, like, you put these guys on a pedestal your whole life. All grown men. You see the best of the best, the Bobby Wagners, everybody, Aaron Rodgers, like all these players that you look up to. And then you finally in it and you're like, okay, like, they're still good, but it's not like you're right there with them now. So like, I literally just dove in and I worked like no other, and I dedicated my whole life to just ball. Like, I got an office now where it's just dedicated to film. Like, I'm just sitting there pounding film throughout the week, and it's just purely for film. Like, my diet, the things I watch, like the podcasts I listen to, the YouTube videos I watch, like Bussin with the Boys.
Yeah.
Just kind of taking notes, and like everything I do is dedicated to ball, bro. Like, it's nothing else besides obviously making my wife happy, but I'm just like completely obsessed with it. Like, this is my whole life. So ever since I dedicated everything to it, it's obviously, allowed me to flourish.
I'll ask Will's next question, but you said something about at the end of that little thing, like, along with making my wife happy.
Yeah.
How hard is it to find that balance between your personal life and your professional life? Because especially during the season, it's all consuming.
Correct.
And you can feel them. I'm married. I have 2 kids.
Yeah.
You can feel them being like, what about us sometimes?
Yeah.
And it's very difficult because it brings a level of guilt.
Yeah.
And their feelings are valid.
Yep.
So how do you work through that process during the season? Because when I'm in a locker room and I see a bunch of guys and they all seem fine, in the back of my head, I'm like, man, I got to do more for my family.
Right.
But also I gotta make sure I do everything I can to win on Sunday.
Dude, I come from like a tight knit family. I've been a family guy my whole life. Being married was my greatest accomplishment to date. Obviously we want to start a family soon, and I mean, you mentioned it. Like, during season, it's tough. Like, and that's another reason why, like, we're a perfect match and why I married her, because she understands. So she understands in season, like, I'm like, all my time's gonna be dedicated to ball. We got our Friday date nights, but aside from that, like, there's not a whole lot of time for anything else.
Even on Friday date nights, you're probably still thinking, because that thing's in 48 hours, bro.
Still thinking about the game plan.
You're never truly present, especially during the season.
Correct.
And then this is more me, because I do this when I finish a season. It kind of feels like it takes me like 2 or 3 weeks to really like decompress.
Yep.
Like, I have like anxiety, like I should be doing this, I should be doing that.
Yep.
And then even those 2 or 3 weeks, you're not like truly present either.
Yeah, it's tough, bro. Seriously. I mean, especially when you lose in the fashion that we lose in.
Brother, I can only imagine.
Consistently, unfortunately. But, when you get to the highest point of the mountain, and then you kind of got to take a sharp, downfall, right? And it's like, that takes some time to kind of let off. But, the off season is crucial, though, in terms of like just spending time and together and doing things together, taking trips and doing that sort of thing. But even then, the ball is never really
always
just
there.
all the way. It's not
always
all the way
there,
turned
dude.
off, So
tormenting you. It is a tormenting thing. I got one more question from Will. I got to read it first.
Go ahead.
Not very long.
Yeah, your reading skills are great.
All right. Wait, hold on. That's not even the first word. Are you happy that you're good enough now to where the special team coach will never bother you again? You don't even know his name, do you? You don't even know the special team coach's name.
The reason why it's so funny to me is because obviously Will's been there.
Yeah.
Like, obviously both of you are in it. So you understand, well, he understands that as like a linebacker, not having to be in those meetings, you kind of know you've made it. Like not having to do the special teams reps anymore. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm, hey, whatever they need me to do, but it is nice to.
Yeah, you don't got to do whatever name. You're doing everything they need you to do right now.
There you go.
You have done that.
I get paid to play Mike Backer. Unfortunately, not unfortunately.
Very fortunately.
Fortunately, but unfortunately for I guess our special teams group, I'm not contributing too much over there.
Do you think you ever you were extremely successful? You have so much opportunity to possibly wear a jacket the way you're playing right now when your career is over.
Thank you.
Do you ever have a hard time understanding how much success you've had, or really accepting a compliment when people give it to you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I try better. I try to be better about it, about just, genuinely saying thank you, to people who give me compliments instead of trying to deflect. There's not a whole lot of time for reflection though.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you're so dialed in, you're in it, there's this constant quest for just the next, what's next?
Yeah.
What's next? So there's never a time to really sit down and be okay, I've done some cool things, right? A little bit. There's a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But not
right now would be a perfect time that you would be reflecting on that. The season just ended.
Right.
How cool was that? All pro. I'm a stud.
Right.
And then you get back to it.
But I don't even let myself get there. Because you know what I did after my third season, I was a first team All Pro Bowl first timer, right?
Yeah.
And I think I may have, it's not I don't even think I rested on it either. It's I reflected though and let myself not feel that the things that got me here in the first place, all the knocks on me, the chip on my shoulder, all those things, I let those things go. I'm okay, I'm him now. All right, whatever, let me let go of those things.
Yeah.
No, they gotta stay there.
Gotta stay there.
They gotta stay there. You gotta understand what got you here, what those things were said about you, that inner fire that gets you going, and gets you up out of bed and to be at your best.
Yeah.
That's what drives me. That's what keeps me going. And so, I'll never really be able to reflect until the whole thing's over. Really, I think, the goal is to be the best ever. The goal is Super Bowls, and it'll come.
Yeah.
It'll come. It's a team game, and we got a good team.
It's for the safety of you having the same production that you've had, your mindset is correct. Now, I will tell you, someone that has had success in this league, has made Pro Bowls, has been all pro, and you don't take time to reflect on it.
Mm-hmm.
When you've had 2 ACLs in 3 years,
Right.
You look back on those things and you really think man, I really, I don't know if you watch The Office, but it's always I wish I knew I was in the good old times.
Yeah.
So someone could tell me so I could appreciate it more.
Sure.
See, I would hope that you take a little bit of that and just, I don't know, go celebrate with a nice vacation.
For sure.
And really sit with yourself and be dude, because you're the fucking man. You really, in the NFL, when you were a child.
Right.
And you're talking about you growing up and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That child would look at you and be dude, that guy's so fucking cool.
That's true.
And you've really done that. And that's that's an
surreal.
incredible feeling.
It's surreal. It's the dream.
Yeah, it really is.
The dream, this is the dream.
Do you, when did you think, seeing where you're at now, when did you think to yourself, oh, that's an attainable goal? At what age did you think, oh, I'm going to make the NFL and I'm going to be a dude in this NFL? I guess that's two separate questions.
It is two separate things. Being in the NFL and being a dude in the NFL are two completely different things. Making it is hard enough, and then being the 1% of the 1% is insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought, I knew for sure I always wanted to be in the NFL. That's always you have your little kid dreams of I want to play in the NFL when I grow up, But it seemed real when I got to college, and after my second season, my coaches were telling me hey, teams are giving you draft grades of if when you do come out, I'm okay, it seems like it's right there, it's attainable.
Yeah.
And then getting in the league and knowing that I could possibly be amongst the top, probably late in my second year, started balling a little bit. I got a couple player of the weeks, player of the month, and was making plays against the top guys. A-Rod, I think that was the year. Was that the year? No, my third year was when A-Rod after the game told me, he's like, "You're the best. Like, you should be all pro." And I'm like, whoa.
Hell yes.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yes. That's so,
yeah.
that's
No,
fucking
that was,
cool.
That was validating. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers, like the best of the best. So,
Stud, dude.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Especially going from BYU too.
Yeah.
It's not like that's a
Yeah.
factory out there.
Yeah. No, we got kicked in pretty good by Michigan
Yeah.
my second year.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Good.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Oh, he's got to roll soon? All right, one last thing. Speaking of BYU,
Mm-hmm.
you have an offer to every single school in the country. You can't go to BYU. Where is the school that you would go right now?
Right now.
Yes. Because mine has kind of changed over. That's why I asked
Really?
that. Mine's changed a little bit as I've
I'm interested to
gotten
hear
older.
your answer.
I'll give
first.
you mine in a little bit. I want to hear yours.
So my team, like we talked about, my team growing up, dream team was USC.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now with obviously Lincoln Riley there, I'd easily go to
Still
USC.
USC.
I'd easily go to USC to play with
Yeah.
Lincoln Riley, yeah.
All right. Mine was growing up, Pete Carroll at USC. I love that. And then that was when Colt McCoy was at Texas.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, those two schools
Yo,
would be fucking awesome.
you throwing up the
Yeah, you see
horns right
that?
there. Yeah, nice.
As I get older, and if I couldn't go to Michigan, I think, dude, I think LSU is a fucking cool school.
Really?
Yes, I dated a girl in college that went to LSU, so I spent some time in Baton Rouge.
Mm-hmm.
The campus is rad. The stadium apparently is amazing.
Yeah.
Like in-game experience. So that's like, I feel like that's where I would lean to.
See, my wife went to Bama,
Yeah,
so she's actually probably gonna be angry that I didn't say Bama, but
Garrett's Bama boy.
yeah, roll tide.
Roll Tide. Oh,
Yeah.
nice, brother. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on this podcast.
Man, thank
Seriously,
you, brother.
it has been
Seriously.
amazing. That was an awkward handshake from me. I kind of
For
got.
me too. I'm like,
you kind of
here we
snapped me in
go.
the fingers. You snapped me in the
Don't
fingers.
hit the mic.
We'll get another one when it's over. But seriously, huge fan of you.
Thank you.
After meeting you, I'm an even bigger fan now. I hope all the success for you.
Thanks, bro.
Hopefully, you guys are in the Super Bowl next year. For all of you watching, please subscribe. Please rate 5 stars. Big hugs, tiny kisses.